Hagerstown, Maryland. My dog's name is Soda. I was sitting with my daughter-in-law one night when everything started to shut down. And I said how sad Soda seemed to be. He's not seeing his guests like he used to see. And she said, well, is there any way that he can do a curbside? So I got online and I found this little nifty saddlebag for dogs. And we started offering curbside with Soda delivering it.
Come on, sweetie, come here. Good boy.
It's just really cute. It makes them happy. It makes me happy. And most of all, it makes Soda happy. I've had people come from DC, Baltimore. Both of those are over an hour drive. We are still considered an essential business, so we can stay open. So it does get me out of my house. I guess people just need something to lighten up their moods a little bit. Get in the hot bathtub with some bubbles and a glass of wine. I mean, what could be better at this time?
Soda.
My mom, it will be 100 in June. And when I told her that Soda would deliver my wine bottles to the car, she would say, go get some. And every night at the dinner table, she's like, this is delicious. So she's very happy, and especially when she has her happy hour with her wine.
Good job. Get your bottle.
My name is Kelsey, and I am a critical care nurse, and have been recently taking care of COVID-19 patients. I'm pretty much just trying to take it day by day. Don't let things get too overwhelming for you. Keep your distance, and having a glass of wine at the end of the day is definitely nice.
It's huge to have a social animal with you when you're going through these times and you're stuck in your home. If he gets tired, he goes and takes naps. His mama loves him to death and will never do anything to jeopardize him. As long as I see he's happy doing it, then I will allow him to continue doing it.
Grab your apron for a new podcast, Cooking Up a Storm with Al Roker.
My forecast, yummy.
Some of the best chefs spill the beans on family secrets to get you ready for Thanksgiving.
This is fun. Bringing the heat for the holidays.
Follow now wherever you get your podcasts.
News is more than a headline. It informs, it inspires, and it still matters. To cover it, you have to be in it. And that's what we're gonna do. Every night, we take you to the front lines of the story, where it's actually happening, with NBC News journalists on the ground from all over the world. We cover what you need to know and bring your newsfeed to life. In primetime and streaming live, it's your news playlist every night.
Top Story with Tom Llamas, weeknights at 7 on NBC News Now.
The Meet the Press Chuck Toddcast, free wherever you get your podcasts.
For breaking news in our changing world, download the NBC News app.
Today is now a podcast, available every morning. Listen wherever you get your podcasts.
Good morning, everybody. Welcome to Today.
Let's go! International Day of the Girl.
The strength and courage of these women is remarkable.
What's your message to girls who want to make a difference?
Believe in yourself. You can make it happen.
Today is now a podcast, available every morning. Listen wherever you get your podcasts.
Okay, have you ever spotted someone walking down the street, admired their style, and thought, how do they make themselves look so fashionable?
I know. Well, that is exactly what happened with two friends from San Francisco. And that conversation led to a passion project and a book. It's called Chinatown Pretty, celebrating the fashionable seniors living in their neighborhood. Take a look.
The Chinatown Pretty style is really this patchwork of contrast, a lot of pattern clashing and a big mix of colors.
San Francisco-based photographer Andrea Lowe and writer Valerie Liu have always been awed by the eclectic styles of senior citizens in the city's Chinatown.
We would just look at each other and be like, did you see that? Where did they get these articles of clothing and accessories? And how did they compose these next level outfits?
In 2014, after a dim sum date where they spent more time focusing on the fashionable elders than the food, the two friends started Chinatown Pretty, a project celebrating the street style of seniors living in the neighborhood.
That's nice.
With a Cantonese translator, the duo takes laps around the area and stop fashionable locals for a photo and an interview.
And we'll just say, good morning, Joseon. and usually just compliment them on the thing that catched our eye. And from there, you know, we try to ask how their day's going and let the conversation evolve naturally.
Jacket's good. Very warm, very good.
And after 7 years of doing gallery shows and articles for local magazines, Chinatown Pretty became a book featuring more than 100 senior citizens from 6 Chinatowns across North America.
One person we met was this woman in a magical alleyway called Ross Alley in San Francisco. And when we asked her to lift up her fleece pants, there were these pink socks that read, "My favorite salad is wine," which is like the last thing you would expect on someone who's like in their 80s.
I think that's a running theme throughout the outfits is the element of surprise and delight.
Through fashion, Valerie and Andrea were able to connect and unlock countless stories.
It's a demographic that doesn't get seen or heard a lot, and you know, it's important to share their stories. A lot of them have immigrated, leaving their families behind, been through war, are refugees, the list goes on. And there's so much resilience that we can learn from them.
One senior featured in the San Francisco chapter is 87-year-old Dorothy G.C. Kwok, who's also known as Polka Dot. She works as a tour guide and documentary film researcher, and in her free time distributes food pantry deliveries to neighbors.
I mix and match whatever's given to me to make outfits out of them that is comfortable for me. I don't follow any fashion. I have my own fashion. If I'm called Polka Dot, I should have at least one outfit.
She was born and raised in Chinatown, and she has a lot of history there.
It was very difficult because we were discriminated. My father had died when I was 12 years old. With 7 siblings, it became very difficult to survive. I got married after the second year of college and decided to move, but I was determined to come back someday where my roots are.
Dorothy was walking me through Chinatown and telling me stories of her childhood there or growing up, and I've learned so much from her.
I was so proud and so surprised that people love it. The writing that Valerie has commentaries on really explains a lot about people and really gives a highlight that immigrants especially, they have a life that can be full.
The first quarter of 2021 saw a 169% increase in anti-Asian hate crimes. It is Andrea and Valerie's hope that Chinatown Pretty can shine a light on the humanity, understanding, and joy that can occur when we stop and connect with one another.
I think that Chinatown Pretty is one example of how we can perhaps change or expand the general public of who and what we are by revealing some of our personal stories that go with the fashion. We are living beings and we are as human as anyone else.
They're in their 80s and 90s and living their best urban lives. They're meeting with friends in the park. They're playing chess. They're watching opera.
We go by Po Po Ho Lang, which is "Damn Grandma, you look good" in Cantonese.
Damn, Grandma, you look good. That is awesome. Oh, God, I hope you guys check this out. Check out Chinatown Pretty. Head to today.com/shop.
When I get on a skateboard, it is the most liberating feeling I've ever experienced. And whatever problems that I'm having in my life, they just go away. Yay! And when I get in a sari and I start flying in the bowl, it's just really fun. I feel very lucky that I found skateboarding. I could have lived my whole life and never found it.
Meet Orby Roy, also known as Aunty Skates on social media. She's a 46-year-old mother of 2 who started to skateboard just 3 years ago.
When I started skateboarding as a family, I started an Instagram account just to track our progress for fun and feel good about us as a family skateboarding together, and it made me really happy. Then in January of 2021, it was a particularly dark period for, I think, a lot of people with COVID, and everybody just seemed depressed. People weren't even hiding it anymore, and myself included. I think that mental health, everybody's mental health was suffering. So I created Aunty Skates as a way to spread joy and positivity. I started a TikTok account. I had never even been on TikTok before. And I took a character, Aunty, and I just started posting really fun, uplifting videos. I had created the character Aunty some time ago in improv, and I may or may not have been disciplining my children with that accent.
Hello everybody, it's Aunty. I'm out in the cold weather in Canada to do a rock to fakie. First try. Ready?
That was one piece of it. And the other piece of it was I was getting on Instagram more, and I started following young South Asian women. And I started to notice that they were complaining often about Aunty. And every culture has that toxic person in their lives, the person that tries to bring them down, the person that's always judging them, you know, the person that says, "Why aren't you married yet?" And every culture has that, my culture included. So why not be the person that builds people up? And that's why Aunty Skates was created, specifically.
And it wasn't just her age that made her stand out in the skate park.
As a South Asian woman, I do wear traditional dress often for special occasions, weddings. Any chance I can to wear a sari, I will wear it. A sari is a traditional Indian outfit that women wear, and it's a long piece of cloth that you wrap around yourself. It comes in really bright, vibrant colors. I like to have fun as a skateboarder. I like to have fun as a mom. And I took Aunty Skates a little bit further, and I put Aunty in a sari, and I skated the bowl.
Orby didn't realize the impact that she would have on others.
It was the comments that people were leaving, from the 40-year-old man who used to skate as a kid and bought a board because of me, to the young Indian girl in a village in India who said, "If you can do it, I can do it." It resonated with so many people in so many different ways.
Roy was always someone that took risks, even when she was a young girl.
My parents are immigrants. They came to this country in the 60s, and I think when they came to this country, they had culture shock. They didn't really feel comfortable raising a daughter in a new, more liberal country, and I think what happened was they kind of doubled down on their old school values. They were doing what they thought was best for me, and they were setting some standards based on their own fears. And the great thing about my parents is that they learned from their mistakes. Yes, I got a computer science degree. Yes, I worked on Wall Street. But that day that I called my father and told him I was walking away from this job, and he supported me, and my mom supported me, I knew that I would always have my parents' support no matter what crazy thing I did. And with Aunty Skates, the fact that I was doing skateboarding in the first place, they were behind me immediately.
Sadly, Roy lost her beloved father, Shamit, this year.
I've always leapt before I looked, and the reason why I've been able to do that is because of my father's support. He always had my back, and he would gently guide me.
Family support has always guided Roy, and it was her husband, and ultimately becoming a mother, that made her want to pick up a skateboard and try.
When I first started talking to Sanjeev, skateboarding came up right away. He told me he sprained his ankle skateboarding and he couldn't come and meet me and that I should come and meet him. And I immediately asked him, "Are you a pro skater?" I had no concept of adult skateboarding. And he said, "I'm not a pro skater, I'm an adult skateboarder, I just like to skateboard."
She just fell in love with it. Next thing you know, I get a text message of her dropping in on a quarter pipe and and like falling on her butt and laughing. And yeah, I think that was it. That hooked you.
When we're sessioning, which is a bunch of us skating together, we just feed off of each other's energy and we push each other to try new tricks. We celebrate together, and we also push each other a little bit. Why not?
Roy believes skateboarding has actually made her a better parent.
Let's go! Yeah! I can do it! What's up?
There's a lot of life lessons to be learned in skateboarding. I've watched my kids' confidence grow so much as they skateboard. And they also learn a little bit about perseverance. You're not going to get something right away. It's not going to be handed to you. Sometimes I'm mad, sometimes I'm frustrated.
Mama, you say I'm the drama queen. I am the drama queen.
They see all the emotions that I go through and they see me get through it. And that's what they're mimicking that behavior now. Sometimes people are at the skate park and they're a little bit nervous. And I always go to those people and say, how are you doing? Do you need some help? And now they do the same thing too. And just the fact that they have compassion and empathy and that they've learned that, it makes me so proud. It makes me so proud. That's parenting 101, I guess.
People ask her, "Are your kids embarrassed of you starting this thing?" And we're not. We're really proud of her. Like, there's no reason to be embarrassed. Like, if you have like a super cool parent or a super cool mom, be proud of it.
As a 46-year-old woman who gets into a bowl and skates in a sari, I want people to know that you can do anything you want. Be kind to yourself and follow those dreams. Do that thing you thought was too late to do. Do the thing that makes you happy. Aunty believes in you.
For breaking news in our changing world, download the NBC News app.
People really don't know what's going to happen. Nearly a dozen hours after the eye roared ashore. More good people than bad people, I know, right? 5 seconds. 4, 3. There is some late-breaking news. 4 hours into the Iowa caucuses. Private hand delivering.
All right, it just did too.
To cover the news, you have to be in it. We'll take you to the front lines of the story, bringing your news feed to life. Streaming live every night. It's your news playlist.
Top Story with Tom Llamas, weeknights at 7 on NBC News Now.
People really don't know what's going to happen. Nearly a dozen hours after the eye roared ashore. More good people than bad people, I know, right? 5 seconds. 4, 3. There is some late-breaking news. 4 hours into the Iowa caucuses. Private hand delivering.
All right, it just did too.
To cover the news, you have to be in it. We'll take you to the front lines of the story, bringing your news feed to life. Streaming live every night. It's your news playlist.
Top Story with Tom Llamas, weeknights at 7 on NBC News Now.
Nearly a dozen hours after the eye roared ashore. There is some late-breaking news.
All right, it just did too.
For breaking news in our changing world, download the NBC News app.
I didn't think when I had started boxing that I was gonna come this far. I didn't know I was gonna grow this fast.
This is Violet, the warrior princess Lopez.
I would probably say I'm more of a warrior than a princess.
A 13-year-old boxer from Milwaukee, Wisconsin, who's shaking up the world of youth boxing.
People say boxing is not meant for girls. I want them to see me as someone who shows you that you can do the sport you love, even though it's a sport that people say is not meant for you.
Violet was born with the heart of a fighter.
She's our youngest female boxer ever to compete out of the United Community Center. And I taught her from scratch, from a kid that didn't know nothing.
One day I was at home and my dad came home from work and he was like, "Your cousins are gonna do boxing. Do you want to try it to see if you like it?" They looked around, they trained a little bit, and then as the weeks went on, she just got more and more into it.
At just 8 years old, Violet won her first fight. She was forced to wait 2 years for her next fight because there wasn't another female competitor in her age group.
Early on in her career, she was always down on herself because she never knew when she was going to get a fight. Being a female in boxing and then being an 8-year-old female, there's not many 8-year-old females that want to get punched in the face.
For 2 years, she just trained. They would have show fights here and all the boys are fighting, but she wasn't. She was just watching from the stands. She started to kind of think if it was for her because she didn't feel like there was enough room for females in boxing just because there was no opportunities for them.
I think that she realizes now that it's just part of the sport for female boxers.
That's the last round, okay? 20 seconds.
Not being able to get a fight and her crying because she wanted to fight. That's just as bad as losing.
But Violet didn't let that stop her. By 12 years old, she was the top-ranked amateur boxer in the country in her division, winning gold at the Junior Olympics and 5 national championships.
I want everyone to know that I worked really hard to get to where I am right now, and it's not always easy.
One of Violet's biggest challenges is outside the ring, fighting the stereotypes that are familiar to many female athletes.
Their biggest challenge is the fact that they are a female and not a male. People just assuming that they have it easier, people thinking that the training may be different for them, not as hard, they don't have to do as much. To see her cry in her bedroom. To say that my daughter wouldn't have national championships if she were a boy because it'd be so much harder and like that's real boxing is just crap.
Nonetheless, Violet persisted.
Leading up to Lake Charles, I thought we had a really good camp. You know, she knew she had to step it up and she had to fight harder, prepare harder. Violet persevered. She outboxed them. She did what she had to do.
I'm really happy. I'm glad that I got another win in my book.
Violet was poised to have her best season ever in 2020.
2020 was going to be the year like that. I just skyrocketed. But no, the coronavirus came along. It impacted me so much. I had to take off a year of showing people what I can do and who I want to be and what I want to change for boxing.
Violet's gym closed in March of 2020, and she had 3 of her upcoming tournaments canceled because of the pandemic. Her next national tournament was set for March 2021.
I'm looking forward to fighting because I haven't fought in it's going to be a whole year once that time comes.
Not having fought in a while, it is going to be a little more difficult because I'm going to have to like get back into the groove of things.
I just always tell her to continue to be her and work as hard as she can, and that'll just be enough. To always know what you want, continue to be who you are, and just do the best that you can. We can't always expect you to win and be perfect.
Violet finished 3rd in the Youth National Championships. After that one loss, Violet's national ranking dropped from 1st to 3rd.
I think I needed that loss. That was my first loss in a long time. I gotta work harder because I want to get back to the #1 spot because that's where I should be. I'm graduating 8th grade, so I'm going to become a high schooler in a few months. My birthday is coming up too, so I'll be 14.
I'm beyond proud. I'm beyond proud. There's not a word. For what we've accomplished and for what we've done together, I just don't feel like people can take that away from me.
In July, Violet's home gym reopened, and she earned a bronze medal at the 2021 Junior Olympics in Lubbock, Texas. Next up, she's aiming for that #1 ranking.
My goal is to get my #1 spot back because that's what I want, period.
Probably cause I am a star and I got what it takes. Cause I'm finna go far, finna win 1st place, yeah.
This isn't about spending going forward. This is about spending that's already happened. Do you accept the idea that we have a crisis at the border? The vaccine mandate. Is this going to work or is this going to backfire? If it's Sunday, it's Meet the Press.
News is more than a headline. It informs, it inspires, and it still matters. To cover it, you have to be in it. And that's what we're going to do. Every night, we take you to the front lines of the story, where it's actually happening, with NBC News journalists on the ground from all over the world. We cover what you need to know and bring your newsfeed to life. In primetime and streaming live, it's your news playlist every night.
Top Story with Tom Llamas, weeknights at 7 on NBC News Now.
Good morning, everybody. Welcome to Today.
Let's go!
We're going to kick off the Pink Power and Breast Cancer Awareness Month.
What's the best thing about being this age?
You have nothing to prove because you already proved it.
What does it feel like to be in a city that you love so much?
I am humbly proud that I stuck up for my town.
We all have the honor of helping reopen the doors.
Broadway is back!
This isn't about spending going forward. This is about spending that's already happened. Do you accept the idea that we have a crisis at the border? The vaccine mandate. Is this going to work or is this going to backfire? If it's Sunday, it's Meet the Press.
So everybody is having a good time? Yeah.
This is unique.
There is nothing else like the Starry Night Cafe. My name is B, or Tally. They call me Miss B, and I am the manager for the Starry Night Cafe. And this is a program to provide some social place for some people with special needs.
I'm a good dancer.
I know you're a really good dancer. Love all of you.
Yeah, love you, Miss B.
When they come in here, take a look around. This is someplace that feels like a club. This is meant for adults 18 and over who are suffering or have suffered or in treatment for mental illness, and that can vary from depression to we have people who are also developmentally disabled. From birth or from diagnosis, most of their life is structured with medication and their therapy. Socialization and recreation is kind of at the bottom of the list. They appreciate the fact that I'm not a clinician. I don't have any letters after my name. I don't have a clipboard. I have a cordless mic. The only thing I'm going to prescribe is to get up on that stage and have a ball.
Coming here, I feel a lot safer in here. Oh, I love doing karaoke. I like mingling with people.
It's a place where I can be empowered, and I don't have to pretend that I'm anyone else.
On our stage, once again, the Wanderers.
We have a band that comes down and plays for us. Of that band, 2 of the musicians are special needs. Within the last couple of years, we did lose our drummer. He moved away. And we found a young man that came here, this young fellow, Will, and he said, I'm a drummer. I was like, oh, we need a drummer.
He came right in, sat in the first night with us. It was no problem at all. He was right there.
There are so many special needs people with so many talents. And when they come here, and I find that out, that's exactly where they're going, right on our beautiful stage there.
Thank you. Thank you.
My name is Will Cato. I'm 24 years old. I played the drums since I was like 7 years old. When I play the drums, I feel kind of like excited or like very, very proud of myself.
William started out with 2 number 2 pencils on tables, on chairs, on mattresses.
When he was young, 2 years old or so, the pediatrician realized that William was not saying as many words as he should have been saying. So I think maybe 2nd or 3rd grade, they asked us, could they have someone observe him? And that's when they told us that he was autistic.
We've basically tried raising our son, who's on the spectrum, to be included in all activities. It's difficult to find mainstream activities where he fits in well, and Starry Night Cafe definitely provides a very seamless atmosphere for him. Everybody is there just being themselves. There's no right way or wrong way to be. It's basically being, and that's what's important in anyone's life, the ability to be.
Mr. Will Cato.
We receive funding, but it's never enough. And so the cafe has always been in jeopardy of closing these doors, and more communities need to duplicate this. Do it where you are, and you will see the difference in your community. This works.
We can't do this without you.
Keep clapping, because we don't pay him, so. Whoa, whoa, whoa.
Thank you for doing this, Diane. Great to see you.
Thank you for having me. Thank you for letting me do this with you.
I was just telling you, I just got finished with episode 2 of Why the Last Man.
Okay.
It's a great premise to begin with. You're fantastic in it.
Thank you.
And I'm curious what you thought when this sort of idea came to just the concept and we're going to do a series about it, were you immediately interested or did you need some explaining?
Well, I thought, you're asking me to, and now for something completely different, you know, which is sort of fun because that's what I do. I get to try on different ideas, and that was what attracted me, was the amount of zeitgeisty, controversial, global world building, world recovering issues, and who knew how much life was going to be sort of brushing up very closely against art, or maybe the other direction, art against life.
He's whining about the First Amendment and calling for
unity. Yes, let's all join hands with the psychotics of America. And what would the expectations be placed upon a different gender of leadership? So it was almost like, I think maybe he was triggered by somebody saying, "Oh, if the world were only led by women."
Right.
And then you think, well, let's dig into that a little bit. What would it be like? So that's the journey we take in a quote-unquote woman-only world after the demise of 50% of the population of the Y chromosome.
You're doing everything you can for everyone you can. But ma'am, without men, there is no future.
I hear you, but we're just trying to survive the present. You know, we call it Men, and the title, of course, says Why the Last Man, so it's not a big surprise. It's not a spoiler alert, but there's double entendres even on the title. Why? Well, what does that mean? Well, why is the first letter of my son's name? Oh, so your son survives, so not every man. And what is a man, by the way? How do we delineate what that term, gender roles, and what do we delineate by how would a woman behave in a leadership role? Would she be up to the task? But I wanted to be part of a world-building show and see where it was going to lead, because there's so much great source material in the graphic novels.
Like I say, I'm 2 episodes in and I still have so many questions that I know you're not going to give away today. What is this thing? What exactly happened? How did your son survive?
Right.
There's so much in the air still that will carry through the length of the series. I was interested to read that this was your first series as a series regular, where you're leading the show, which I thought, she's done a bunch of TV and a bunch of film, but she's never done this. Was there some appeal to doing, okay, this streaming thing that everyone's on, and I'm the lead, and we can see this through a bunch of episodes to tell a story? Much different than making a film, obviously.
Well, I'm a sucker for a dare. I can own that, and I wanted the experience of doing something completely different in my craft, which a lot of people have become extremely comfortable with, and that is not knowing what the writing is that you're setting yourself up to fulfill. One of the things that I love to do is to look at work in terms of the conversations that grow out of what were you thinking when you took this role? Why this, why now? And it's so complicated to answer this question, but it's also very timely because of the many things that have occurred in the world. I mean, when I read this originally, well, first of all, I have Googled how many women have portrayed the US president. I had to do it. I was like, apparently I'm number 18.
Okay.
You know,
our 18th president.
We are going to have to keep making hard choices to try to help deal with the panic and the outrage.
Yeah.
I mean, yeah. And I have some very dear friends who have already portrayed this character, whatever we have in our mind's eye of the leader of the most important leader of the free world, and all of those, you know, self-aggrandizing, and rightfully so, the role of President of the United States has been a very big trigger point for a lot of people for a long time. And suffice it to say that when I was describing to people when we were shut down in the pandemic and we were dealing with so many changes in the world, global, and yet also very sort of tethered to who is president and what that looks like, and what does that say about our country.
Yeah, I mean, this was, as you say, written, these are based on books for people who don't know, after 9/11. I think the first one came out in 2002, and then there were more after that. But my gosh, it's about a pandemic. There are echoes of what happened in this country on January 6th, of civil society sort of disintegrating before our eyes.
The frame changes the art always. You could put a piece of art, even if it's not art. If you frame it in a certain way, people will say, well, that's art. It's easier sometimes to portray somebody who's really existed in history. Then you can say, well, she did it. I'm portraying something that really happened. And this seemed so far-fetched. So to play the president confronting it was very prescient, very zeitgeisty, even more than I bargained for when I signed on.
The Meet the Press Chuck Toddcast, free wherever you get your podcasts.
News is more than a headline. It informs, it inspires, and it still matters. To cover it, you have to be in it. And that's what we're gonna do. Every night, we take you to the front lines of the story, where it's actually happening, with NBC News journalists on the ground from all over the world. We cover what you need to know and bring your newsfeed to life. In primetime and streaming live, it's your news playlist every night.
Top Story with Tom Llamas, weeknights at 7 on NBC News Now.
Sometimes the news can be difficult and overwhelming for kids to understand.
Will coronavirus come back next year?
So to help make sense of it all, we've created a newscast just for them. Man, you know a lot. We hope your family will watch Nightly News Kids Edition.
Grab your apron for a new podcast, Cooking Up a Storm with Al Roker.
My forecast, yummy.
Some of the best chefs spill the beans on family secrets to get you ready for Thanksgiving.
This is fun. Bringing the heat for the holidays.
Follow now wherever you get your podcasts.
To cover the news, you have to be in it. We'll take you to the front lines of the story, bringing your news feed to life. Streaming live every night. It's your news playlist.
Top Story with Tom Llamas, weeknights at 7 on NBC News Now.
Today is now a podcast, available every morning. Listen wherever you get your podcasts.
What did you want to bring to a representation of a woman being president? Because there she is
Well,
standing.
I'm wearing my patriotic colors.
Yes, I noticed that. Very nice.
Well, of course, the humanity of it, the shared experience of it. The line of succession was decimated by the amount of death and the amount of grieving that she has. In order to be a good leader, you have to be the best follower, in a way. So she wasn't chosen. She wasn't voted in. So there's a lot of controversy around inheriting the job that she wasn't voted for, you know. Right. And so, hey, that's prescient too this year. Voting became very important, and the controversy around our votes considered authentic. The process, once you begin to have doubt enter into that conversation, now you've tilted the conversation into what is reality? It's the inner journey of this woman who is struggling to lead while she knows she's violated her ethics in order to do what's right for the world, which is, if you have a survivor, don't you want to try to make it possible for there to be more than just one survivor?
You've spent a bunch of time in the halls of Congress as an activist, and I want to talk to you about that in just a moment.
A small bunch, but legally, yes, I have been to the halls of Congress.
You've been, yes, you have.
There's photos, so I know
there
it really
are.
did happen.
I've seen them.
Okay.
In my day job, I covered politics, and just the way you sort of carry yourself, some Nancy Pelosi in the way you walk down the hall, and you're surrounded by your staff and your reporters. Did your relationships with people who serve, did you bring some of that to understand what it means to be in a position of power politically?
I have enough audacity to bring the little things that I believed in to the Congress people who were willing to meet with me and talk about the issues. And those were conservation issues about the health of our oceans at that point. There's always some legislation, right. that needs help to get the ear of the people who actually turn these things into law. That was my secret ambition when I was a child, was to become a lawyer who could help make laws. We need laws to catch up to the reality of our planet. We only have one.
When you do go to Capitol Hill and you knock on the door of Congress people, do you find they're at least more aware of the problem? Are they more receptive to it? It doesn't feel like some radical tree-hugging idea anymore, that like the middle of the country understands that this is a problem because it's happening in front of our eyes.
This is science and this is real and people need to survive and live. And people are scared of the conversations.
So you've got a lot of fans who listen to you. What would you say to them about what we need to do different day to day? Forget the big macro, but how do we make a dent in this as we go about our lives?
Well, I mean, I didn't bring my book. I was going to bring it and show it to you. It's called What Can We Do? Actually, it's called What Can I Do? And it's Jane Fonda's book. And it's all about her experiences going out of her comfort zone and allowing her fame to mean something on this planet while she's here. And she wants us to all wake up and do what we can. And people are panicked and they don't say, what can I do? So she literally goes through, she's so practical. That's what I love about Jane, among many things I love about Jane. So sure, I went and got arrested for the cause of bringing attention to the conversation. But the conversation is manifold. It's not just recycle or get the plastics out of the ocean, or we have species that are leaving. And everybody gets so scared. They want to go hide under the table and have a cocktail. So do I. But is it going to be our children? So I want us to wake up together and hold hands and make it a positive movement. That's my dream.
I think one reason for optimism is that I have a 12-year-old and a 14-year-old who were born into and are growing up in a world where to them climate change is a fact. It's not a theory.
Yeah.
And it's what they're taught,
Yeah.
and they see it more on the news than certainly you or
But it's
I
not
did
been politicized. It hasn't
Right.
been politicized
They
for
said,
them.
well, yes, this is happening. Here's what needs to happen. So maybe that's one reason for optimism, is this generational turnover.
Yeah.
But they don't have to be convinced of it.
Right.
Most of them, anyway.
Right. One thing Jane pointed out, and it's true, is that they make the individual feel bad, but they're supplying us with plastic everything. So we have to revisit and make things so they can be reusable and share more and include more people in our family, I think. And now I'm going to run for office.
I was going to say, this is it. This is your campaign launch right here. I'll vote for you.
The Meet the Press Chuck Toddcast, free wherever you get your podcasts.
Make the most of your day with Today All Day. Get closer to all your friends at Today in a whole new way.
Today in 30. We give you a mix of everything you love about our show in a mere 30 minutes.
Shop today with Jill Martin.
We're helping you shop like never before.
The latest styles and biggest names. Today Food.
Things are heating up in the Today All Day kitchen.
Cooking essentials and recipe inspiration.
Get ready. Are you ready? Oh, I'm so ready.
Only on Today All Day. For breaking news in our changing world, download the NBC News app.
This isn't about spending going forward. This is about spending that's already happened. Do you accept the idea that we have a crisis at the border? The vaccine mandate. Is this going to work, or is this going to backfire? If it's Sunday, it's Meet the Press.
People really don't know what's going to happen. Only a dozen hours after the eye roared ashore. More good people than bad people, you know, right? 5 seconds. 4, 3. There is some late-breaking news 4 hours into the Iowa caucuses by the Hampton beverages.
All right, it just me too.
Grab your apron for a new podcast, Cooking Up a Storm with Al Roker.
My forecast, yummy.
Some of the best chefs spill the beans on family secrets to get you ready for Thanksgiving.
This is fun. Bringing the heat for the holidays.
Follow now wherever you get your podcasts.
The Meet the Press Chuck Toddcast, free wherever you get your podcasts.
This isn't about spending going forward. This is about spending that's already happened. Do you accept the idea that we have a crisis at the border? The vaccine mandate. Is this going to work, or is this going to backfire? If it's Sunday, it's Meet the Press.
I didn't realize until you walked in here, but we're surrounded right now by Diane Lane memories. I mean, where should we begin as you
Midtown
look
girl.
out these windows?
Somebody had to get raised in the Midtown, right? I went to PS 59, which is on 57th Street. It's the heart of Midtown to me, and of course it's a Whole Foods now. There's so much I could say about that. But anyway, Yeah, so that's the building where I had my first audition. It was the Gulf and Western building. When I say first audition, of a job I got, there were plenty of auditions that I've had that I've completely blocked out because who wants to remember those? Those don't count.
But this is A Little Romance, your
Little
first
Romance,
film.
1978.
Delightful spot, but hardly the top of the diplomatic ladder.
That's fantastic. What an incredible life you must have had, Monsieur Santorin.
Oh, please, Julius.
For people who don't know, you've been acting. I mean, you're 13, 14 years old. You've been already acting since you were like 6 years old.
That is true.
What were the roles like leading up to, okay, this movie is my big moment, my breakout?
You know, it sounds like a joke when I say it, that I peaked when I was 10. But in some ways, I did because I had been traveling the world with the La Mama Experimental Theater Group, and it was the 70s, and it was very early 70s. 72 was the first tour. And so, I mean, that I was on as a kid. And so I was 7, and my parents didn't go. And my first passport, I had no front teeth, and it was considered very cute. And it's strange to grow up in the adult world when you're the kid in the room. Because if you know too much, you're considered precocious, right?
Yeah.
But they expect you to know a lot in order to fulfill the task and be a team player and be responsible and don't screw up and make the plane and don't lose your per diem. It was like joining the circus. It was like running away and touring the world with young people in the 70s. And it was a much more innocent time. So my dad and mom let me have that experience. I wouldn't have the courage as a parent to let my very young kid have that. I don't know. They were extraordinary people, honestly, to trust the universe as much as they did. It was a wonderful experience. Life by living, life by doing, life by traveling. Got to see so many different cultures.
I was thinking about you because I have a 14-year-old daughter. After A Little Romance becomes a hit, you're 14, you're on the cover of Time magazine. Laurence Olivier is saying you're the next Grace Kelly. What did all that feel like to a 14-year-old?
Well, I remember approaching the newsstand. We had newsstands, kiosks in the street, and they used to have, there were so many magazines then. So one magazine, you'd have 10 of them at a row, you know. And I guess 1978, I mean, you'd have, I'm not going to list the magazines, but Time magazine always had the upper right-hand corner as if it were dog-eared, and you'd see a photograph of some world leader. And in my case, it was Henry Kissinger. And I thought, this is really bizarre. This is a very surreal experience. I'm clearly having an out-of-body experience, and this too shall pass. And I thought about Birdcage Liner, and I thought, it's just paper. It's not going to. Don't allow this to mean anything to me, because I knew it wasn't about merit. I could trace back how it was that I wound up on the cover of Time magazine, and it wasn't because I had done anything. It was because I was an anomaly. And it was a curiosity to have people that young in the film industry as a new wave of culture and cinema. And I thought, oh, interesting. But I knew that it wasn't going to be. I mean, we're still dining out on the story literally, because Time magazine usually is about a very meritorious person, right? And I felt a little embarrassed, honestly, because I was playing handball under the 59th Street Bridge, thinking, I have no business being on the cover of Time magazine. This is crazy. I'm sure my dad was thrilled, you know. That's my kid, you know.
Of course.
But I was sitting there going, please don't ask me to live up to that.
But where did you get the wisdom to have that perspective at 14 years old? Because it seems...
Growing up around adults, probably.
Right.
No filter from people around me. But the tempered innocence, you lose innocence as you grow, and then you start to value your own innocence. And that was working with George Roy Hill. That's what he said about his movies. That they're always about innocence, the loss of innocence of the main character. So he saw the theme in his own work. That's cool. when you're not. He didn't have to audition for his jobs. You could create your own job. It's different
Right,
when you're an actress. You sort of go, is this going to be the one? Do I feel like I want to do this? It's different than writing it and having a vision for the end product. I'm sort of a tapestry thread, and how they edit it and how they put the music and the credits and how they promote it. It's all out of my hands, and I like it that way, because if I were in control, then I'd have to take all the blame. It's not worth the credit. It's too big a risk.
That's so interesting, right?
It is interesting.
Yeah.
Because you could say, well, what's the next one?
Right.
Next.
Right.
Okay.
I mean, it feels like watching your career, even to now, you do have this perspective on what it means to be a movie star. I'm sure you don't like that term, or a celebrity, and that it doesn't really interest you that much.
Well, it does in terms of what people like Jane Fonda have done with it. Meaning,
Right.
you can live a long time,
Right.
and you can add, something to humanity in terms of what you've done with your fame.
Right.
That I think is.
But the
valuable.
things you went through as a child, becoming a child star can ruin people, obviously. And then you're in Coppola movie, they push you through, and you have this incredible young career, but you survive it, and then some, and you're being nominated
Isn't it interesting that they use the word survive? Yeah.
Well, because there are some
Because it
people
is a
who don't.
gauntlet of
Yeah.
potential bad choices that you're not even supposed to be aware enough to make good or bad choices. It's all luck, or some person in the background who's a marionette and you're the puppet, and there's strings being pulled that allow you to have good fortune compared to somebody else. One of the things my dad said to me as he knew he was dying, he said, isn't it enough, Diane? Don't you think it's somebody else's turn? And because he's brutal. My dad was famously brutal, hence an acting teacher.
Right.
Cut you asunder, right, in a way that nobody else can, or you wouldn't allow anybody else to. And it was almost like saying, "Are you going to keep going?" I knew he was daring me to keep after it. He wanted me to have one of those lifer type careers.
And you have. Right? I
Yeah,
mean, look,
but
here you are.
am I supposed to go to 30 years?
It's like, so what's the secret if somebody's watching right now to keep that ball in the air the way you have, to have had all these phases where you go
Being open to change.
Really? Yeah.
I think so. Being open to change. I mean, the human body is very humbling, and if you're a woman, you certainly are aware of the way change is part of your fate, because there's only a window of time within which you can procreate. And that is such a blessing. And it is also a measure of worth that men don't experience. And it is also a tremendous gift because you, in some ways, get to be born fresh. I gotta watch my terms because my grandmother was a Pentecostal preacher. I don't want to get into trouble. But you can be born freshly in your own self-understanding by not internalizing any longer the male gaze. Unless you want to.
Right.
unless it's fun for you now, and you can do it your way, on your terms. And so I'm watching women these days, and I'm very heartened by the diversity of representation that is accessible to young people today. But see, it takes strength. You have to be able to come up against all these things that want you to internalize them and make you an insecure person. So every little lesson that you get and being able to change and adapt and not let it define you is the goal for women, I think.
Today is now a podcast available every morning. Listen wherever you get your podcasts.
For breaking news in our changing world, download the NBC News app.
This isn't about spending going forward. This is about spending that's already happened. Do you accept the idea that we have a crisis at the border? The vaccine mandate. Is this going to work, or is this going to backfire?
If it's Sunday, it's Meet the Press.
Good morning, everybody. Welcome to Today.
Let's go! International Day of the Girl. The strength and courage of these women is remarkable.
What's your message to girls who want to make a difference?
Believe in yourself. You can make it happen.
Sometimes the news can be difficult and overwhelming for kids to understand.
Will coronavirus come back next year?
So to help make sense of it all, we've created a newscast just for them. Man, you know a lot. We hope your family will watch Nightly News Kids Edition.
Today is now a podcast available every morning. Listen wherever you get your podcasts.
For breaking news in our changing world, download the NBC News app.
Nearly a dozen hours after the eye roared ashore. There is some late-breaking news.
All right,
The Meet the Press Chuck Toddcast, free wherever you get your podcasts.
You've been consistent. Was it gratifying in that run, sort of perfect storm, unfaithful, under the Tuscan sun, to just have this? People knew you from A Little Romance, and they knew you along the way, and then here she is again, you know?
John Cusack and I made a film together, and we sat in the trailer at one point, and he said something that I'm going to quote, and he's going to have to forgive me, because maybe he would disagree with himself at this point. And there were these books on the table, and he says, I think we're the coffee table book actors. We make everybody feel super comfy, cozy. We've been there since they were 12. They are now whatever age they are, and we're still here, and they know they're okay because we're still here. And I thought, I can work with that. I'm not ashamed of that at all. I bring it because we want to see what else you got. And that's part of the reason I chose this show, is because it's so completely fresh and different for me as a show, even if I were just watching it. So to think of myself in it, get a little squirrely, but that's the fun of it. You're supposed to do the work that scares you.
It's funny, when I interviewed him for this show a couple of months ago, he was saying sometimes he'll be watching TV and he'll come across a movie on cable, and he said, it's like looking at your old yearbook photos. You go, who is that guy? What is up with your hair? Who is that guy? You know?
Fun.
Do you ever come across your old stuff when you're watching TV, or do you?
Well, I call it my young stuff. Yeah, so it cuts both ways. I mean, sure, I do, and I always want to break the mold. I mean, when you're an actor, you want to be able to disappear into something as much as you're allowed, or have the courage, or can pull off. I think it's an incredibly noble profession, and I did not used to think that. I used to really poo-poo my profession because I grew up in it.
Yeah.
You know, wherever you grow up, you have to leave. And this pandemic, actors got me through it. And of course the crew and everybody that makes actors shine. But they're the ones on camera. Everything that makes that moment possible, yes. But the actors get us through it. And the comfort we have taken from watching the shows. But my hat's off to the profession, because we're able to increase our compassion and have diverse experiences vicariously, and expand our imagination and our sense of what's possible for ourselves. We feel seen. They're championing something that we wish we could champion, so we have champions now. It's an amazing craft, and I see why so many people want to break in, and I'm glad for my daughter, because there's a lot more lot more access.
She's into it, right?
She's into it.
And you've encouraged her?
You know, I discouraged her.
Oh, you did?
I think most people in my profession discourage their offspring. Because
you know too much.
I know too much. And she has seen behind the curtain in Oz, as I call it. And after graduating Gallatin at NYU, and after her journalist education, this is the real storytelling in a way. In a way. And I think I have the sense that she's going to morph into writing things. That's every parent has a fantasy they project onto their kids. So forgive me, Eleanor, but I think she's got it in her to be sort of I always say you can replace an actor. They're the most replaceable thing in a way, but you can't replace the writing. That is, if it's not on the page, how do you expect that to get to the stage?
Right.
It's got to be in the writing. And I think she's incredibly gifted. And of course, she can act, and she's beautiful. That's fine. But I still think that, write something for actors to do forever. You know, then to me, that's the highest height.
Well, congratulations on the series. It's
Thank
outstanding,
you.
and it's just fun to walk through your career. Because it's a
Honored
pleasure.
to speak with you today.
Nice to see you.
Happy fall. I don't know how to drink this. I'm gonna get it all over me. my God, it is so good. Is it all over my nose? It's probably all over my nose, and no one is telling me. When the temperature starts to dip, I get super excited because that means fall is here and summer is out. No more sweating your ass off. I love nothing more than putting on a hoodie, grabbing a blanket, and cozying up on the couch. So today, I am making 3 of my favorite comfort foods. This cozy meal is just as comforting as a cashmere scarf, but definitely more satisfying. First up, I'm making my Italian wedding soup, featuring mini versions of my signature meatballs. And the best part, it all comes together in one pot. Next up, delicious buttery garlic bread, perfect for dipping and savoring every last bite of that soup. And finally, for dessert, a decadent hot chocolate made with a luscious ganache. So let's get cozy and let's get cooking. If you're from a big Italian family like I am, you need to be able to feed a lot of people, feed them fast, and it better be delicious. That's why this Italian wedding soup is the perfect recipe. The first thing I'm going to do is make a mini version of my almost grandma's meatballs. If you don't know, you need to know. So I would head to today.com/saucy and find out what the hype is all about. The first thing that I need to do is prepare some parsley. So I'm just gonna pick off a bunch of leaves. We're gonna need about 1 tablespoon of finely chopped parsley. When chopping herbs, make sure you use a sharp knife so that it cleanly cuts through the herb instead of smashing it. Just gonna take the parsley, add it to a large bowl. Then I have a pound of ground beef using 80% lean. So it's not super fatty. First, I'll add 1/4 cup of Italian seasoned breadcrumbs. And now all of our flavoring. We have salt, always salt, teaspoon of salt. I'm using garlic powder here to flavor these, 1 teaspoon of that. And then pecorino cheese, which I put in everything if you guys haven't figured that out by now. 2 tablespoons of that. Last but not least, a large egg. Put that right on in. And then gloves, super sanitary. I feel like these days with COVID, we all have gloves in our apartments and houses. That's gonna get cut. So just break up that egg a little bit just to get it started. And then you want to just gently fold all these ingredients together. There's something like nostalgic about the smell of raw meatball mixture. I know it sounds weird, but it literally takes me back to my grandmother's kitchen when I was a kid. So I just grab little bunches and roll them into mini meatballs, about the size of a gumball. Aren't they cute? Perfect. I'm not surprised. And last one. Now for the big cleanup. Ta-da! Up next, we will work on our vegetables. I'm gonna just trim the tops and bottom of our celery. I'll actually do the same with the carrots, which are already nice and peeled. I love a really hearty soup. Tons of vegetables in this, tons of meatballs, and tons of pasta. You're looking for about 2.5 cups of each of your vegetables. And for this soup, I really love to keep them round if possible. Okay, that takes care of our carrots. We'll transfer it to a bowl. Oh God, I am making a mess. It's okay, we have people here to clean up after me. Okay, we'll add that to the bowl as well. This may look like a lot of veggies, but it needs to feed a lot of people. So 2 onions. Just trim off those tops and have them. And this could be a pretty generously sized chop. You basically want to mimic the size of your carrots and celery. Last but not least, in terms of prep, garlic. I know it looks like a lot, because it is, but we love garlic in my family, and I'm not gonna apologize for it. I have 10 cloves of garlic, and I'm just thinly slicing them. I'm just gonna push the garlic to the side. Now we finally get to start cooking. And I'm going to add a generous bit of extra virgin olive oil, a half cup actually, which may seem like a lot, but we're cooking a lot of vegetables. And to this, we will add all of our hard work. Instant aroma. And I love that sizzle. Stir everything. You want to get a nice coating of the oil on all of your vegetables. And at this point, I'm also going to season it. So just a couple of generous pinches of salt. The salt is going to start to pull the moisture out of the vegetables. So we'll cook this over medium-high for about 12-15 minutes or so. You can see how the natural water in the vegetables is already coming out. There's all those little separated droplets of oil and water. Cooking is all about science. My worst subject in school. Add the garlic, give it a nice stir. You want to cook it for about 1-2 minutes until it's nice and fragrant. For a little bit of spice, I'm going to add half a teaspoon, maybe a drop more, of red pepper flakes. And to round out the flavor and add a little bit more complexity, some tomato paste. And now stir it to combine. Really make sure that the tomato paste melts into the oil. And now for the actual soup. Some vegetable broth. I'm using 3 quarts. At this point, I'm also going to add a few sprigs of fresh thyme, pretty, some salt. Who says a watch pot never boils? At this point, it seems like there's a lot of liquid, but we still have a lot to add. Our meatballs, some pasta, maybe a healthy ingredient or so. Now that it's beginning to come to a gentle simmer, we're going to add a few more ingredients at this point. The first being the rind from Parmigiano Reggiano. And this is a chef's secret that's been going on for a really long time, where you add it to pretty much anything that you would top with the cheese. So that rind is just going to add like this little subtle umami that's going to flavor the soup. At this point, I'm going to add the meatballs. Going to give a very gentle stir, just to make sure all the meatballs are submerged, but you don't want to smash them or break them. Going to let this go for about an hour until our meatballs are fully cooked through and the vegetables are super tender. In the meantime, I'm going to tidy up and grab my last few ingredients. The soup has been gently simmering for the last hour or so. So traditionally, there is some sort of a hearty green in an Italian wedding soup. Some families like escarole. You can use chard. I'm using just curly kale, mainly because I think it looks really pretty. And now we're going to add the pasta and the kale, and they will finish cooking right in our pot. Tubettini, ditalini, those are my favorite. Right on in. And last but not least, the kale. Just grab your spoon and kind of gently start to submerge the kale. Don't be too aggressive because you don't want to mash your meatballs. And I told you, it looked like a lot of broth, and now it's just the way I like it. Just enough broth to consider it soup, but all the other good stuff is going to be loaded in your bowl. And at this point, just cook it until it's nice and al dente, about 10 minutes. How amazing does this look? The pasta is nice and al dente, the kale's wilted, the meatballs are super tender, as are the vegetables, and I think it's time to dig in. Did you even eat soup if you didn't put it in a bougie crock? I don't think so. Ugh. Make sure you get a little bit of everything. Right now, all I could think about is this wedge of pecorino that's been sitting here. Oh yeah. Disclaimer, let it sit for a second. It is super hot.
Nearly a dozen hours after the eye roared ashore. There is some late breaking news.
All right,
To cover the news, you have to be in it. We'll take you to the front lines of the story, bringing your news feed to life. Streaming live every night. It's your news playlist.
Top Story with Tom Llamas, weeknights at 7 on NBC News Now. Grab your apron for a new podcast, Cooking Up a Storm with Al Roker.
My forecast, yummy.
Some of the best chefs spill the beans on family secrets to get you ready for Thanksgiving.
This is fun. Bringing the heat for the holidays.
Follow now wherever you get your podcasts.
Sometimes the news can be difficult and overwhelming for kids to understand.
Will coronavirus come back next year?
So to help make sense of it all, we've created a newscast just for them. Man, you know a lot. We hope your family will watch Nightly News Kids Edition.
The Meet the Press Chuck Toddcast, free wherever you get your podcasts.
Sometimes the news can be difficult and overwhelming for kids to understand.
Will coronavirus come back next year?
So to help make sense of it all, we've created a newscast just for them. Man, you know a lot. We hope your family will watch Nightly News Kids Edition.
Today is now a podcast, available every morning. Listen wherever you get your podcasts.
The Meet the Press Chuck Toddcast, free wherever you get your podcasts.
Is all I can say. The vegetables just melt in your mouth. The meatballs are so good. The broth is so flavorful. Pasta, cheese, give me a fireplace, and I'll be a happy person. Garlic bread is the ultimate comfort food. What makes my garlic bread so delicious is plenty of butter, plenty of garlic, and my favorite cheese, pecorino. The first thing I'm going to do is start with some parsley. Need about a tablespoon of parsley leaves that are going to be finely chopped. This is just going to add a little bit of freshness to our garlic bread. Make sure it's nice and fine so that every bite of garlic bread has a little bit of fresh parsley in it. That looks great. And right into the bowl. I'm using salted butter, so I don't need to worry about trying to dissolve salt into this. So 1 stick of the salted butter, and now let's start building that garlicky flavor. Starting with 4 very generously sized cloves of fresh garlic and grate it in Grating it pretty much makes it so that it almost melts right into the butter. Be super careful when using one of these zesters. They are extremely sharp. I've nicked myself more with this than I have a knife. Then some garlic powder. This actually is a little bit more subtle and will hit your palate later on, so that as you eat your garlic bread, you're sure to have plenty of garlic flavor. And I'm just adding a 1/4 teaspoon of that. A tablespoon of pecorino. It's gonna add a little bit more saltiness and flavor, and it's gonna melt right into the butter. And last but not least, to kind of help create a paste and bring it all together and add even more flavor, extra virgin olive oil, and I'm adding 2 tablespoons. I love the flavor of extra virgin olive oil in combination with butter. And all you wanna do is gently stir this, mashing it together until it's one smooth mixture. Really mix it all together. You don't want big clumps of garlic or it's going to be a little bit too much. You can see how that olive oil helps make it super pasty. It's gonna be easy to spread on our bread. This looks great. So we'll set this aside for a minute and we'll work on the bread. I'm using a nice crusty loaf of Italian bread. It's pretty crusty on the outside, but it's nice and fluffy on the inside, which is going to trap all of the garlic butter. So using a serrated knife, cut it lengthwise in half, as if you're making a nice sub for lunch or something. And then cut it in half the opposite direction, just like that. And you'll be left with 4 long pieces, just like this. And you can see all those little nooks and crannies that the butter is gonna get trapped into and just be so delicious. Gonna take that garlic butter and just sort of divide it into 4 mounds. And all that's left to do is to evenly spread it onto the bread, making sure you cover every little bit of the surface. You want it to be nice and generous. There's nothing worse than like a dry, bland garlic bread. Isn't it mesmerizing? Or am I just weird? And the last piece, really working it in, making a nice, smooth, even layer. Everything's completely coated. All that's left to do is pop it in a 425-degree oven for about 10 to 12 minutes. There'll be some gorgeous golden brown crustiness happening around the edges, but it'll still be really nice and soft in the center. How good does this look? I wish you can smell it because it smells better than it looks. Now, if my parents were coming for dinner, they would have already ripped into this like savages. But because this is a classy show, I am going to show you how to serve it for like a dinner party or something. Carefully grab a piece, and it's crispy. I don't know if you can hear it. And I like to cut it just into like 1.5-inch pieces. It is so hot, but we're fine. It's fine. Whew, smoking. Look at this, a heaping platter of yummy, garlicky deliciousness.
People really don't know what's going to happen. Nearly a dozen hours after the eye roared ashore.
More good people than bad people, you know, right?
5 seconds. 4, 3. There is some late-breaking news 4 hours into the Iowa caucuses by the hand delivering it.
All right, it just fit too.
Make the most of your day with Today All Day. Get closer to all your friends of today in a whole new way.
Today in 30. We give you a mix of everything you love about our show in a mere 30 minutes.
Shop today with Jill Martin.
We're helping you shop like never before.
The latest styles and biggest names. Today food.
Things are heating up in the Today All Day kitchen.
Cooking essentials and recipe inspiration.
Get ready. Are you ready? Oh, I'm so ready.
Only on Today All Day.
News is more than a headline. It informs, it inspires, and it still matters. To cover it, you have to be in it. And that's what we're gonna do. Every night, we take you to the front lines of the story, where it's actually happening, with NBC News journalists on the ground from all over the world. We cover what you need to know and bring your newsfeed to life. In prime time and streaming live, it's your news playlist every night.
Top Story with Tom Llamas. Weeknights at 7 on NBC News Now.
Sometimes the news can be difficult and overwhelming for kids to understand.
Will coronavirus come back next year?
So to help make sense of it all, we've created a newscast just for them. Man, you know a lot. We hope your family will watch Nightly News Kids Edition.
Good morning, everybody. Welcome to today.
Let's go. International Day of the Girl.
The strength and courage of these women is remarkable.
What's your message to girls who want to make a difference?
Believe in yourself. You can make it happen.
Hot chocolate is the ultimate cold weather treat. And this recipe is so decadent that you're gonna forget all about that powdered stuff. It all starts with a ganache, which I know sounds fancy, but trust me, it's super simple. So let's get started. First thing I'm going to do is chop up some chocolate, 10 ounces of it. A serrated knife is the key when chopping chocolate. It goes through it so easily. And I'm really going crazy here, chopping it nice and finely so that it melts into a nice, smooth ganache later on. You can tell this is good chocolate just by the crunch it makes as the knife goes through it. So, probably not the best thing to do. Stab yourself with a knife. Next is the liquid component. And most ganaches start with heavy cream. This is 1 2/3 cup. And typically you really don't have to add anything else at this point to make a ganache, but I'm not basic, so I have to kick it up a notch. The first thing I'm going to add is 2 tablespoons of cocoa powder, unsweetened cocoa powder. This is just to really amplify that chocolate flavor in our hot chocolate. So right on in. And then to add just a touch more sweetness and just a molassesy undertone, 1 packed tablespoon of dark brown sugar. And last but not least, just a half a teaspoon of some fine sea salt. Going to put this over high heat. I want to bring it to a simmer. Whenever you put dairy over the cooktop, you really want to pay attention to it and make sure it doesn't boil over. Want to start dissolving the salt and the sugar into the cream, and the cocoa powder starts to dissolve in as well. Make sure you have your chocolate on standby, and then right on over the chocolate. Oh, it smells so good. I'm gonna grab my whisk and just slowly start to stir it. You can see it starting to melt and get nice and thick. And look how velvety in just a matter of seconds right before your eyes. It's just a beautiful mixture. And just whisk it until smooth. We don't want any chocolate chunks left in there. I'm just gonna throw this in the refrigerator. You want it to be completely set before moving on to the next step. At least 2 hours, but you can even do it overnight. Because you can never have too much hot chocolate, here's some that I already did yesterday. And what I like to do are scoop mounds. And the reason I'm doing so is because these are my packets of hot chocolate. I'll put these in the freezer until they're frozen and then transfer them to a zip top bag so that I always have hot chocolate when I need my fix. Almost looks like ice cream, but not quite. Okay. At this point, you can freeze them for later use or use it right away. I'm just gonna give my hands a quick rinse, but I think I need to mix them right now.
Make the most of your day with Today All Day. Get closer to all your friends at Today in a whole new way.
Today in 30. We give you a mix of everything you love about our show in a mere 30 minutes.
Shop today with Jill Martin.
We're helping you shop like never before.
The latest styles and biggest names. Today Food.
Things are heating up in the Today All Day kitchen.
Cooking essentials and recipe inspiration.
Get ready. Are you ready? Oh, I'm so ready.
Only on Today All Day. Grab your apron for a new podcast, Cooking Up a Storm with Al Roker.
My forecast, yummy.
Some of the best chefs spill the beans on family secrets to get you ready for Thanksgiving.
This is fun. Bringing the heat for the holidays.
Follow now wherever you get your podcasts.
News is more than a headline. It informs, it inspires, and it still matters. To cover it, you have to be in it. And that's what we're gonna do. Every night, we take you to the front lines of the story, where it's actually happening, with NBC News journalists on the ground from all over the world. We cover what you need to know and bring your newsfeed to life. In primetime and streaming live, it's your news playlist every night.
Top Story with Tom Llamas, weeknights at 7 on NBC News Now.
Sometimes the news can be difficult and overwhelming for kids to understand.
Will coronavirus come back next year?
So to help make sense of it all, we've created a newscast just for them. Man, you know a lot. We hope your family will watch Nightly News Kids Edition.
Now for the fun part, to make some hot chocolate. First thing you're gonna do is 3/4 cup of whole milk. And then because this is decadent hot chocolate, 1/4 cup of heavy cream. And that goes right into a small saucepan. I'm gonna put this over medium heat. So I'm gonna take 2 of my mounds and right on into the pot. These chocolate ganache mounds are going to melt right into that cream, making the best hot chocolate you've ever had in your life. I like to stir it pretty constantly. That's gonna keep the milk and the chocolate from burning. It's already starting to get that chocolatey color. Now, this hot chocolate is just fine the way it is. But if you wanna kick it up a notch, you can add something like this, which is some bourbon cream. So I'm going to add 1/4 cup. You can add chocolate liqueur, you can add rum, but this bourbon cream does the trick for me. And time to serve. Get yourself an appropriate mug for the occasion. Smells so good. Toppings. It's hot chocolate. You've got to have the toppings. I'm keeping it pretty classic because I'm a classy guy, but do you? Marshmallows, a must. A lot of marshmallows. Creates a nice base for your whipped cream to sit on and make sure it doesn't melt all over the place. And to finish it off, some chocolate. I'm using milk here. And I like graham crackers for little dippers. Happy fall. Oh my God, it is so good. Is it all over my nose? It's probably all over my nose and no one is telling me. This tastes even better than it looks. I'm gonna keep enjoying this.
This week, a familiar voice, Katie Couric, returns to Studio 1A.
I've had an extraordinary life. I've had incredible opportunities. As you say, I've had huge successes. I've had some pretty public failures, too. It's the whole kit and caboodle, as my mom would say.
Hoda Kotb sat down with Olivia Newton-John.
Anyone that has gone on this journey with cancer, it's under unknown destinations and surprises and turns.
And the GOAT, Olympic champion Simone Biles.
Big exhale, Simone, just watching that piece on this particular day, on this Thursday. How are you doing?
You know, a lot better, getting the mental health therapy that I need. So I'm really happy to have such a great app to help out with that.
Now here are the hosts of the greatest show ever, Today's Show Confidential, who makes sure every day is a Bones Day. It's Libby, Maz, and Pete Breen.
Oh my God.
Jenna, you could always, I thought she was going to
good.
say Pete the Cat.
Yeah, she calls me Pete the Cat, but she went with the more radio prominent Pete Breen.
That was pretty good. And
She did it. She nailed it.
Jenna's consistent with other talent who sarcastically track the Open too.
You
Today's
say
Show Confidential.
you can hear it in their voice. They're mocking. What am I doing? Why are these people who should be focusing on me focusing on themselves?
That's absolutely true. There's a little extra something in there that just speaks to me as condescending.
Yeah, I love it. I love that
actually-
they maybe it irks them a little bit, and I'm okay with that.
I think, Holly, that Pete should track our Open next week.
No,
Why not?
you've never suggested I should track anything.
Well, now I am, and I think our titles are all ridiculous. Maz's is normal. Executive producer, that's fine, but
Right.
senior vice president and senior broadcast
I know.
producer.
It just sounds
Why can't we just be
made up.
Libby, Maz, and Pete?
It's fine.
Is that good?
Maybe going forward we can do that.
Speaking of,
we all worked hard for these titles, but
we're
it's
missing a
fine.
leg of our trifecta.
I know.
Is that a way to-
Sure.
Maz is
Tripod?
not in studio today. That's what I was looking for,
That's
the
okay.
tripod. Something weird about calling ourselves
Yeah,
that.
it doesn't sound right.
But Maz is not here today. Maz is at home. He is in the suburbs somewhere. As we call on the Today Show, he's in upstate New York.
Upstate New York.
This is Tom from upstate New York. First time, long time. I'd like to talk about Aaron Boone's new contract, and I'm really upset about it. I'm really upset about Aaron Boone's new contract. And what Brian Cash.
I think you have the wrong channel. That's sports radio. That's the Fan.
Oh, this isn't Mad Dog? This isn't Mad Dog?
In a way it is.
Damn it.
Can I call you Maz?
I need to talk about the Boone contract.
Maz Dog. It's Maz
Are you
Dog.
the guy that got salmonella poisoning at Yankee Stadium in about 2015?
I still got a beef with the Yankees about that, too.
You could probably, did you ever look into a lawsuit about that, Maz? You could have got some coin off that illness.
Should have. I would take like 1/1000th of Giancarlo Stanton's contract, that's for sure.
Some coin.
Even free tickets, maybe.
Mazzy, how you doing out there? You are so high profile, we will not disclose where you are.
Yeah, it'd be a shame.
Oh, thank you. The people would be descending on me like locusts. I'm
Exactly.
sure.
So we're going to keep you at an undisclosed location in
Yeah.
upstate New York, but we miss you today.
I miss you guys. We had another in the world we're living in 2021. Had a little exposure to COVID, so I had to wait to get my test. Got the test back. I'm good. I'm negative. All was well, but I was trying to be a considerate employee and not come to work today.
That was nice.
That's some radical transparency, Maz. I didn't know if you were going to go there with what was going on.
You know what? This is the world we live in. This is Today's Show Confidential.
It's called Today's Show Confidential. I will say, Maz, it was so weird for you not being there this morning, but you were still working, that you not coming out and sitting next to Jared and working on the Open, it was like 6:20, and I was like, wait a minute, I'm supposed to be upstairs.
Oh, you lost your time.
100%. I was just waiting for you to come over and sit down. Usually that's like my cue. Oh, I got to go up. That's when Hoda starts her crosstalk, so I need to be there in her ear.
6:20 is late. So you sprint up?
Sprinted up. Well, I'd take the elevator, but I did sprinted to the elevator, made it up.
That's
just
great.
in time.
Well, when you guys are apart, is it?
It hurts.
Yeah. Is it hard?
It does. Well, it's hard just because of the love, but it's also hard because we are also very much about the TikTok of the
It's
morning.
all
right?
Maz and I are both very much creatures of habit. So
Yeah,
to
every
throw
minute
anything out of there
is scripted for you two.
100%. I know that if I don't have so and so done by 6, it's going to affect everybody.
What people don't realize is morning shows really are all about time. It's all you think about is time. As soon as you wake up,
just gives me
to the moment the
hit in my
show's over,
stomach.
every minute
correct
is accounted for.
And it's like I always laugh because no matter what you're doing or what you haven't done, it still starts at 7, right? Like
100%.
There's nothing you can do about it. You can't push it back.
Maz, how was your experience listening? Could you hear us when we were introing you?
No, I couldn't hear anything.
Okay.
When you were doing it last week, I was listening to I don't even know, some other station, which was fantastic, but it was not us, so it wasn't as good.
Yeah, I was wondering about
Nice.
that, but you didn't miss anything. Jenna tracked the Open today,
Oh, that's very kind of her.
and she said our names very routinely, and then
Oh, then she laid into me, Maz.
It's kind of par for the course, Pete.
she said Pete Breen.
She did.
Which is what he demands now for radio appearances.
I don't demand it. It just kind of organically happens.
It does. It does.
I actually tracked something today. I actually did track something today, Libby.
What did you track today?
I'm hesitant to tell you because you'll take it away.
Nope.
The today, all day, behind the scenes for the morning.
Yes, well, we assigned that. We wanted you to do that.
I didn't realize I had to track something, but I got an email last night saying, can you track this spot? Maz, I did it in your office after the show today.
That's fantastic.
Wait, Pete, you said yes to tracking something?
I would love it if Maz came back and didn't know anything going on and looks in his office and Pete's in there tracking.
Really dramatically, waving my hands.
Maz has been gone for 12 hours. And Pete's in there tracking.
Like you've taken it over like he's Brokaw.
Yeah.
He's got a line of people out the door waiting for him.
He has a bust of himself.
I'm smoking for some reason.
Well, listen, this was a big week in Studio 1A, Mazzy. Katie Couric returned to Studio 1A.
She did, and I worked with Katie as a segment producer back in the day, and I think it's safe to say we all didn't necessarily know how it would go, right? I mean, she's a charming person and a part of the extended family, but her book has been a bit controversial, to say the least. So we were kind of a little bit on pins and needles as to how it was going to play out.
I think it went great. It was really interesting to watch Savannah, one of the best to ever do it, interview Katie, arguably the best to ever do it.
Yeah.
I mean, they're all up there, but
It's okay to say, yeah.
Katie was the foundation of the Today Show for 10 years.
For at the pinnacle of today, you could almost say, of morning TV when it was like at its peak.
And it was cool. I mean, as you said, the book was had a lot of tabloid press ahead of time, and this was the first time that Katie was speaking out about it. And I think they had a really thoughtful conversation. And Savannah worked hard on that interview and wanted to get to all the things that had sort of been buzzing out there. And Katie was really honest and out there. And that's the name of her book.
She's going there. That's right.
And it was cool. It was cool to see Today Show history, I thought, Maz.
It was nice to have her back. Like I said, she's part of the family. She established, we joke she's the Michael Jordan of morning television. So it's nice to have Michael Jordan back. And she was on the 7th. It was in the 7:30. She was on the 9, and she was on the 10, and we had to kind of figure out how we were going to divide and conquer with the amount of material in her book and where it was going to go and how we were going to do it. But it was nice that Savannah sort of took the lead because she tackled the toughest stuff.
She did. And it was fun to see Al interview her. They talked a lot about when Katie had the groundbreaking live colonoscopy on the air. I mean, that was historic. She interviewed President Bush live.
Which Jenna
impromptu.
did not bring up.
Yes, Jenna did not bring that up. And then in the 10, it was just a good conversation between Hoda, Jenna, and Katie. So we love to have her back. I got the pleasure. I was in the control room that morning, sandwiched between Pete and Maz.
That's right.
Watching two of the best to do it. Speaking of best to do it.
Oh my gosh.
At their craft.
Look at that. Well, you know what you got to see us do, Liv, is you got to see us move a lot of commercial time.
Oh my
I did.
God.
You moved a lot of commercial time,
week.
but you made sure to show me where Grace and Lucas, our morning superstar producers, work. Maz was excited to show me the
Team Grukas
cave they work in because we're in a temporary location.
They're super high talented producers who have such input to the show and are necessary for so much of what happens in the morning, and we keep them tucked away in a little room in the back of the building.
We sure. And what do you call it? The glass cage of emotion?
Pretty much.
That's
we call
what
them
Lucas
Team
said.
Grukas.
Okay.
Grace and Lucas.
The best part about it, Pete, was I said to Libby, I said, well, let me tell you where Grace and Lucas sit. And she goes, oh, and she's walking towards the other control room. I'm like, no. They're not in there. They're around here. And it's like that labyrinth into that back room. And she's like, oh, my God, this is where they are? I'm like, yep.
And then I asked them how they were doing, and they said, not great.
It was a tense morning. Not tense morning, but it was just
a lot.
It was a lot. And I will say that, Maz, of the three of us, you're the only one who worked at Today when she was there. And
she as Katie.
She being Katie. And for me, I even said it going into in the morning, I was very conscious of how much of a weight this was on Savannah, because it really was. Like that was a lot to do for someone who currently works at Today, who respects Katie, but has some very tough questions to ask. So that was weighing on me. But more than anything, even though I was sitting there in, part of the show, I felt like a viewer watching it because I was so invested. Like, how is this going to go? Morning TV has been such a part of my life. Watching Katie in the morning when I was, in college and
we all
high
did.
School, it was. I was watching like I was not working for the show, but as a viewer. It really felt that way.
The control room, I love those mornings when you can hear a pin drop in the control room.
Nobody said a word.
Nobody said a word, listening to every answer. And what was really funny was later on the 10, Savannah watched Hoda and Jenna interview Katie, and she said, wow, that was captivating. And I said, yeah, it was like when we were watching your interview. Right. She understood the feeling.
Like that thing you just did a couple hours ago.
Right, exactly. So, yeah, that was a big start to the week. It was good to have Katie back. And then it pivoted quickly to a dog from TikTok fame.
Noodle the dog.
That is Today's Show 101 for you.
It was that was the same day, wasn't it? No,
that was Tiny Mom. Maz, how did you describe Tiny Mom?
Oh, yeah. Oh my God.
Her real name was Tiny Mom, and I called her Big Mom. No, Little Mom. And the big twins.
Little Mom with the big twins.
Horrific. And as soon as I said it, Pete giggled like a fourth grader.
Well, Holly came up to do notes from the boss, and Maz was just riffing on Little Mom with big kids.
Little Mom with the big twins. And then he mentioned how I was giggling. My wife heard it, and she's like, you two are idiots.
Oh, she heard it? Oh, my gosh. That's so funny. Well, it was a big TikTok famous week because Tiny Mom is famous on TikTok also.
TikTok's taking over everybody. That's the lesson for today.
So tell me how Noodles came about.
Maz, you want to take that one?
Sure. It came up in one of the meetings. Karen Frossett, our fantastic senior producer of the 8 o'clock, she was talking about how this dog Noodle had taken over the internet, and that this dog has this thing where every morning Noodle would get up and its owner would decide whether if Noodle fell over, then it's a no bones day, and but if Noodle stood up, it was a bones day, and people were basing their days on like whether it was going to be a good day or bad day on this dog Noodle. But as she was trying to tell it, and no one had really seen it because we're not like TikTok consumers in that way, and so we're just like, what are you talking about, Karen? And then slowly but surely, there were more and more people who were like, no, you have to do this dog. And then it became a booking battle, by the way. Noodle the dog was a booking battle.
Well,
it always is.
Didn't Steve Thode, our longtime overnight producer, send us an email that somebody tweeted that was the greatest segment in the 70-year history of the Today Show?
70-year history of the show. It was considered. So Jen Long, who's one of our great producers, a star producer as well, she was on vacation and came back to do the Noodle the Dog segment. That's how into it she was.
Oh, I didn't know that.
She was on vacation.
Oh, wow. She came back from vacation for Noodle.
For Noodle the Dog.
Wow. Well, what was
it was good, and it turned out to be a good thing because we put Noodle on the air, and Noodle behaved, and it was a bones day, which meant it was a good day.
Oh, okay. There you go. Well, I liked how that was explained for those of us that weren't exactly familiar with it. I think we did a good job setting that up.
It was a little confusing. And I know you did this too, Maz, I kept calling it Bones the dog, but it was Noodle the dog who was bones or no bones.
And I'm like, Noodles was on.
And then, right, and we're all a little confused. That's how dorky we are.
To cover the news, you have to be in it. We'll take you to the front lines of the story, bringing your news feed to life. Streaming live every night. It's your news playlist.
Top Story with Tom Llamas, weeknights at 7 on NBC News Now.
Sometimes the news can be difficult and overwhelming for kids to understand.
Will coronavirus come back next year?
So to help make sense of it all, we've created a newscast just for them. Man, you know a lot. We hope your family will watch Nightly News Kids Edition.
For breaking news in our changing world, download the NBC News app. For breaking news in our changing world, download the NBC News app.
The Meet the Press Chuck Toddcast, free wherever you get your podcasts.
For breaking news in our changing world, download the NBC News app. Make the most of your day with Today All Day. Get closer to all your friends at Today in a whole new way.
Today in 30. We give you a mix of everything you love about our show in a mere 30 minutes.
Shop today with Jill Martin.
We're helping you shop like never before.
The latest styles and biggest names. Today food.
Things are heating up in the Today All Day kitchen.
Cooking essentials and recipe inspiration.
Get ready. Are you ready? Oh, I'm so ready.
Only on Today All Day.
To cover the news, you have to be in it. We'll take you to the front lines of the story, bringing your news feed to life. Streaming live every night. It's your news playlist.
Top Story with Tom Llamas. Weeknights at 7 on NBC News Now.
Today is now a podcast, available every morning. Listen wherever you get your podcasts.
For breaking news in our changing world, download the NBC News app.
But Maz, tell me what happened when you told your daughter we were having noodle on.
I was trying to be the cool dad and just sort of be like, yeah, look, we've got this TikTok sensation on. And I was like, I'm always sort of taking the temperature of the teenage girl. Like, do they have a clue what we're talking about? And they're like, yeah, no, we know noodle. And my one daughter was like, yeah, but that's kind of old. I'm like, how old is it? She's like, like a week.
A week?
Yeah.
So
which is old, by the way.
Is TikTok moving on now?
Girl,
no, just that thing on TikTok. Like there's probably been 3 more viral things since then.
That's the point, Pete. Right? It's like something has surpassed it within 12 hours on TikTok as the rage, and this was like 5 days ago the rage. But it's only slowly making its way to sort of mainstream knuckleheads like you and me and Lib that we finally got. It finally got
me
to
and you and Lib.
Maz is like, hey kids, have you heard about the Harlem Shake? It's hilarious.
The Macarena. There's this thing called the Macarena.
Has anyone done the Dougie?
Yeah.
Oh, boy. Well, Maz, I think the TikTok, if I'm not mistaken, the TikTok video from our show with Noodle on it has over 1 million views.
Jeez. It does. It is a thing. It is. I read something as well, too, because I was trying to follow it on TikTok as well. And there were all these people thanking us for doing it, and it just made me laugh. Thank you for giving. Thank you for. I had a good day because it was a good Bones day, and I'm like, there was literally nothing to it. The dog came in and stood up, and you're basing your day on that. This is ridiculous.
So you think we contributed to people's good days?
Well, they were saying that, so we'll take it. But I think it's a little absurd. It might be a little absurd.
Here's the deal, though. We all know that things aren't great for many people for many reasons, and any little sort of thing you can sort of grab onto that makes you feel good, why not?
Things aren't great is such a Pete thing. Things are not great.
There's a lot going on, and if you can have a little happiness in your morning because of a dog that stands up that day, I'll take it.
Well, let me tell you something. Let me tell you some great news.
Oh, I can't wait.
Today's show, Confidential.
Yeah. This broadcast
is going to be available on streaming starting October 25th.
Get out of town.
Well, I don't know the exact drop date for us, but all of our serious shows will be on the stream next week. So Hoda probably is first.
This is, by the way, I just love, I was looking at you in awe there, Libby, because you just said the phrase, the drop date and streaming, unironically, and just flowed right out of your mouth.
Who am I?
If she dropped a platform, that would have been like the threefer. She dropped platform in that. It would have been all over. There would have been something dinging in there. Ding, 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 ding.
I was trying to play to both of your egos because that means your face is going to be out there. Really, for the first time.
I'm going to have to go on a Pete Breen-like diet between now and the 25th.
It's wellness journey, and you look great, Maz. Don't worry about it.
Thank you.
I had a fan text me, how much weight has Tom Mazzarelli lost? I said, you're talking about Pete Breen. They're not the same person. But it is all it is all the rage, Pete, your weight loss.
Well, it's been a journey.
It has been a journey. You just said journey unironically.
Right.
But guys, I'm excited to see how we cut together on the stream.
As I've mentioned now several times, I really feel like this is going to do super well.
I will man and claims people ask about when the shows will be on the stream.
Yeah. You doubt it. I think that's right. I also feel like we're going to look at a time of our lives that was pre-streaming and post-streaming.
We really
and it's when we're lighting cigars with $50 bills.
Yes.
And making it rain at like a Starbucks.
Well, I have a question because we do take callers when we're live on Today Show Confidential. Yeah. If you could see any part of the Today Show sort of rebroadcast on the stream, like what parts would you want to see? Because we can make these decisions. Tell me what your favorite all 4 hours. Tell me what your favorite segment is, your favorite
Like
series.
a recurring streaming
I would love to
series
know
that you
what
could do?
people would be able to watch and expand upon on the stream.
We got a lot of hours to fill on that stream.
We do. And for example, if you love Pop Start, would you want to see more Pop Start?
Okay.
Because that might be coming.
Yes, the answer to that is yes, because you know what? There is more Pop Start on Pop Start Plus, Libby.
Ooh, that's a good one. I was going to save that, but that's good. No,
Oh,
it's
sorry.
actually, I'm not. I'm kidding. That's great.
We've been recording.
855-355-4789. We know you want to see more of us on the stream. That's
Right.
obvious. So anything beyond that,
In
give us a
addition to
call.
us,
It
what
can be
else?
new ideas too. Hoda should do an interview show with J-Lo. I mean, who knows?
That's a great idea, Lib.
Right?
Can we
Holly
get that
could produce
going?
it.
Yeah.
Right? Hoda's podcast is going to be on the stream also. So we're just sort of putting everything we're doing in that content world out there.
Hoda loves doing that podcast.
Yeah, tell me about that because it's a limited series right now, but we may extend it.
I think you'd be crazy not to. She's so excited about it. She comes in and tells me the day after she records it.
She loves it.
How much it, because usually I'm one of the first people from the show she's talking to in the morning. We have our call to go over the rundown. And if it's like she just goes all into it on
You
who
might
it
be the
was.
first human she talks to.
One of, for sure. One
Yeah.
of, yeah.
Does she call from the car or does she call from
I
the
give her a
office?
call. She's usually getting her. I can hear the blow dryer. She's getting her hair.
Got it. Okay.
Yeah, and sometimes it's hard to hear, or for her to hear me going over the rundown. But yeah, she gets she's so into it. It's cool to see.
No,
like
that's
someone
great.
who's that excited about
Well, it's
something.
nice. I mean, what we do on the show every day is hard, and it can become routine in some ways. And I think just new things are always exciting to have.
Yeah.
Right?
There's a lot of platforms now, Lib. As
Hey,
you
Maz,
know.
you still awake out there in the
Yeah, we
suburbs?
got you.
I am here. I didn't want it's hard. You know, I'm just like a caller. I'm a guest caller today. I'm not I'm not in the thing. I don't want to step on anyone.
Who do you think? Who do you think's going to win the World Series?
Oh man, the Braves are playing well. I would like to see Atlanta or the Dodgers win because I don't
Okay.
want either the Red Sox or the Astros because I'm a Yankee fan. But that's why I'm gonna leave in a few minutes and go to Mad Dog and start talking about that over there.
Maz, before you go, I know something we can talk about this week. That's
Yeah.
really going to captivate viewers, listeners.
Yeah, go ahead.
Breaking news at 8:05 in the morning.
Oh, yeah, that was a big morning.
It was a big morning. Possibly
was.
the worst time for news to break.
Well, I would say anywhere between say 7:30 and 8:45 is
Yeah.
just not good for us because it happens in the middle of the show, and we have to then figure out how to fix it for the other feeds. And that was the day that Colin Powell passed away.
Yep.
Also, a story that, to be brutally honest, you know, a lot of times we get tips if some big names or world leaders are sort of, you know, on the verge of perhaps passing away. We have a little sense of it. We had zero sense of that at all.
Yeah, this one came out of nowhere, didn't it?
It really did.
Yeah.
We were even in the control room. We saw a note from our boss Noah about the Powell news, and we kind of looked around. We're like, we have what is he talking about? No clue what was happening.
We were
at that
Googling
moment.
Powell, and someone's like, well, Jerome Powell.
You were Googling Jay, Jerome, everything, right?
Yeah, the whole deal. We were trying to figure it out, and then I looked up. CNN they clearly had been tipped off from somebody in the family. That's generally what happens, and they broadcast it first. And then what happens is you can't just go, you know, just for people listening at home, you can't just then go up and say Colin Powell is dead. So you have to get it verified by your own news organization. So that ended up taking like 8-10 minutes to get that done.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, it was rough.
And how did you end up fixing for the later feeds?
We went live with what would have aired at 8:10 to 8:25 on the East Coast. We went live for it in Central, so at 9:20, 9:10.
We just went live.
We went live with the whole gang, and then that played on the later feeds.
Did you put the 9 o'clock upstairs?
Yes.
Yes.
In a different control room, and then we went live at 10 o'clock for the West Coast with the new Powell information.
And what did you do about Hoda?
Hoda, it was Savannah and Craig who did the update for
That
West
came
Coast.
up last week on Today's Show Confidential, Maz.
Yeah.
What do you do about Hoda?
It did. Although we did tape Pete. Remember we taped
Oh, that's
the top of
right.
the show with Hoda.
We had
so
a little
we got
bit of
her
Hoda at
in
the top.
where
That's
she
right.
sort of does her thing at the top, and then we move on with Savannah and Craig doing it together. We had that question from a listener in Georgia, and I remember sort of describing kind of worst case scenarios for when it happens live during a show, and then guess what? It happened.
Yep.
There you go. Well, that's what we do, right? We're designed to cover breaking news.
Yeah.
And you guys pivoted quickly.
Can I also say a weird thing to be totally confidential about how news organizations run? obits are a prepared thing. A lot of people know this already. For many people who that even if they're not going to pass away shortly, they're such a big name that if something happens, you want to have some tape ready that you can go to. And I would have thought, Maz, that Colin Powell would have certainly been near the top of that list.
We didn't have an obit for him?
There was there was not a prepared obit. There was one in the works that was
completed. Oh, geez.
Right.
That's how surprising it was.
That's how surprising
it
was.
That was supposed to have been sort of worked on, I think, in the past few months, but no one had the sense that there was any urgency to it.
Yeah.
So we were, we were thinking, going through the list, Pete, afterwards, and we're like, how did these people make it ahead of Colin Powell?
You don't want to say who, but there's something. I was just screaming out random names like, how is there this guy and not Colin Powell?
Nearly a dozen hours after the eye roared ashore. There is some late-breaking news.
All right,
Grab your apron for a new podcast, Cooking Up a Storm with Al Roker.
My forecast, yummy.
Some of the best chefs spill the beans on family secrets to get you ready for Thanksgiving.
This is fun. Bringing the heat for the holidays.
Follow now wherever you get your podcasts.
Good morning, everybody. Welcome to Today. Let's go. We're going to kick off the Pink Power and Breast Cancer Awareness Month.
What's the best thing about being this age? You have nothing to prove because you already proved it.
What does it feel like to be in a city that you love so much?
I am humbly proud that I stuck up for my town.
We all have the honor of helping reopen the doors.
Broadway is back!
This isn't about spending going forward. This is about spending that's already happened. Do you accept the idea that we have a crisis at the border? The vaccine mandate. Is this going to work, or is this going to backfire? If it's Sunday, it's Meet the Press.
News is more than a headline. It informs, it inspires, and it still matters. To cover it, you have to be in it. And that's what we're going to do. Every night, we take you to the front lines of the story, where it's actually happening, with NBC News journalists on the ground from all over the world. We cover what you need to know and bring your newsfeed to life. In primetime and streaming live, it's your news playlist every night.
Top Story with Tom Llamas, weeknights at 7 on NBC News Now.
Nearly a dozen hours after the eye roared ashore. There is some late-breaking news.
All right,
Hey, everybody. How are you all? I've listened to you for quite some time, and I watch the show every day. And I was just wondering, do you have any plans to bring back the dogs that you used to raise?
Oh, our Puppies with a Purpose?
Oh, we love Puppies with a Purpose. Pete, I don't know, do we?
I don't think we have any immediate plans. I think COVID sort of got in the way with that a lot between people who can be here and how often we can have those segments. But Maz might know the answer better than I do.
Maz got hung up on.
Oh, he did.
Yeah.
I got hung up on. So we don't have the technology.
I hope that there's any way that you guys could do it again. I'm sure that was so popular, but there's so many people that need service dogs, and there's so many other places that they can visit up in Boston. Every hospital has a bunch of therapy dogs, and they're such a savior to so many people.
Yeah, well, that's a good thing. We should bring that up. We know for certain, Maria, that whenever we do any segment on pets, whether it be Puppies with a Purpose or Noodle, the TikTok dog, everybody loves pets and talking about them, so that's a good one. How is Boston today? Good weather?
Where are you from in Boston?
Oh, I live in a southwest suburb of Boston, and it's 73 degrees and sunny, and the leaves are falling.
Southwest
and,
suburb.
It's a little warm.
What town?
Warm for October. A town called Walpole.
Walpole, sure. I know Walpole.
Maria, anytime Pete can do a Boston accent, since he's from Duxbury.
Duxbury. I'm from Duxbury.
Okay.
Well, thank you for calling. Thanks for watching the show. And we will take Puppies with a Purpose under consideration again.
Yeah, we
Thanks
should.
So
Have
much.
a great
Have
day.
A great day, guys.
I know that other people have brought that up, too. That was such a huge segment with all our dogs. People love them. But right now, it's still... We're doing so well in the show. It feels like we're close to normal. You know, we've got cooking back in. We've got concert acts. We've got celebrity guests and other guests coming in. We're not quite at 100% yet, so it doesn't feel like now is the time. But once we're back to 100%, I think that's a conversation.
Pete, we had Wrangler and...
We had Charlie. We had
Charlie.
Wrangler, and we had
I don't remember Charlie.
Yeah, Charlie. Charlie was actually right before
Wrangler?
It was Wrangler, then Charlie, and then
Charlie.
We had Charlie.
Did we?
No, that was the second one. Wrangler was the first. Then it was Charlie, and then our third one.
What was our third one? That,
oh my God!
that Paxson always had around.
Sonny.
Sonny?
Yes.
Here's where I start to really worry about
memory and cognitive abilities.
Sonny?
Yeah, it was Wrangler was first.
I mean, the thing is, Wrangler is the one that I just always
that was the
that
was the
name
first
is
one.
So distinctive. Sonny.
A great joke that somebody said was for some reason the breeder the dog's name had to begin with a W.
Okay.
And someone suggested we name it Ratings with a W. Since clearly that's what we were going for.
Did you suggest that?
No, but I laughed very hard at it.
I'm currently Googling Charlie Today Show.
Here's the deal. Another Today Show confidential insider note. Charlie was the dog when Savannah was pregnant.
There's Charlie. Okay, I just did not. I really blanked on Charlie.
And then Sonny was our third one.
Okay.
We've had three. We will definitely have another.
When you Google it, this is so Today Show. When Sonny met Charlie.
Yeah, there you go. Moment captured for Insta and
Welcome,
all other
Sonny.
platforms.
So Sonny was a black lab?
No, Charlie was a black lab. Wrangler was a yellow lab.
Yeah, I knew that.
And Sonny, I think, was also yellow. More yellow than was Wrangler, I believe.
Okay, yeah, because we've got Charlie holding up a sign.
Yeah,
that says,
Charlie
"Welcome, Sonny."
was black lab. They're all great dogs.
We really, I could have, if you had said, I'll pay you $1 million, you say yes or no, did we have a dog named Charlie?
Charlie is a
no.
real, that's not living in your brain anywhere. Still, even after seeing Charlie.
No, it doesn't have any resonance whatsoever. But
wow.
Sorry, Charlie.
Sorry, Charlie. Hey, very good.
I was working on the news part of the show during that period, Pete. Not the whole comprehensive caboodle.
I know. Isn't it funny how wide-ranging the Today Show is?
It is. And what you can, I remember, we've talked about this before, but when, I think it was Conan interviewing David Letterman.
Yeah.
When they were saying how, because you do a daily show, there's so many things that you just can't remember.
Well, you know who says that a lot? It's funny. Is we'll be doing a spot on a celebrity. Maybe it is an obituary, or maybe it's like an iconic celebrity, and there'll be a clip of Al talking to that person from something, and without it fail, Al goes, I don't remember that at all.
Savannah does that all the time. This is my favorite Savannah story. She goes into the makeup room when Hoda was going to be interviewing Jessica Simpson.
Yeah.
She goes, oh, Hoda, you've got Jessica Simpson. It's such a great interview. It'd be great to meet her. It'd be so good. And it'd be exciting. I've never met her before. Hoda said to Savannah, oh, I was just watching your interview with her the last time she was on the show. She didn't have a recollection of meeting her.
Oh, my God.
Doing the interview. No idea.
When you're doing it every day, you really can. Easily, everything can slip away.
I'll tell you what. Savannah remembers interviewing Trump during the town hall.
Yeah.
That's a memory.
Sure. Katie this week.
She'll remember those really.
Yeah, the super high-profile ones that she loves, too. Like when she met Duran, that was a big one.
Duran, that was super high profile.
Well, for her it was.
She did Boris Johnson this year.
Yep.
That was big for the year. I mean, whenever you interview a head of state, that's a big one.
Yeah.
But no, it's hard to remember. If I said to you, Pete, what did we lead with yesterday?
Oh, yesterday?
I mean, COVID's a good guess. But...
It is a good guess, but yesterday was, it was.
See?
I don't remember. I really don't remember.
Tough. I'm just proving the point.
Yeah.
People really don't know what's going to happen. Nearly a dozen hours after the Eye roared ashore. More good people than bad people, right? 5 seconds. 4, 3. There is some late-breaking news 4 hours into the Iowa caucuses by the hand delivery.
All right, it just me too. Good morning, everybody. Welcome to today. Let's go. We're going to kick off the Pink Power and Breast Cancer Awareness Month.
What's the best thing about being this age? You have nothing to prove because you already proved it.
What does it feel like to be in a city that you love so much?
I am humbly proud that I stuck up for my town.
We all have the honor of helping reopen the doors.
Broadway is back!
Make the most of your day with Today All Day. Get closer to all your friends at Today in a whole new way.
Today in 30. We give you a mix of everything you love about our show in a mere 30 minutes.
Shop today with Jill Martin.
We're helping you shop like never before.
The latest styles and biggest names. Today Food.
Things are heating up in the Today All Day kitchen.
Cooking essentials and recipe inspiration.
Get ready. Are you ready? Oh, I'm so ready.
Only on Today All Day.
Good morning, everybody. Welcome to Today. Let's go. We're going to kick off the Pink Power and Breast Cancer Awareness Month.
What's the best thing about being this age? You have nothing to prove because you already proved it.
What does it feel like to be in a city that you love so much?
I am humbly proud that I stuck up for my town.
We all have the honor of helping reopen the doors.
Broadway is back!
So, Pete,
yeah.
Here's some Today Show Confidential.
Ooh.
You are planning where you're going to be napping in the building today.
That's right.
Because we are going to a goodbye party for Zoe Marcus, one of our beloved colleagues who is heading to a new job, and we're having a goodbye party for her tonight.
It's a big deal if I'm in the city past 3 p.m.
It's a huge deal. Zoe is one of our favorites, and we are turning out for her tonight.
Oh, and turn it up.
But that means you have to nap in the building.
Yeah,
and I have been trying to convince you, this is what we're talking about in the breaks. He said he can't wait to take a nap in Maz's office.
Right.
I said, which is fine. The couch is fine.
The problem is it's a small couch.
Right. And so I said, go to Savannah's office. The couch is comfortable. I know she has pillows and blankets in there. Just get in there.
I have no doubt that I know Savannah has a nicer couch than Maz. But
she definitely does.
I don't know. I just feel more comfortable sleeping on Maz's couch.
Okay, well, we were worried.
It's like my buddy. You know what I mean? Like I'm crashing at my buddy's pad for a little bit.
Yeah, well, he did just say that he loved you on air.
And I him.
Yeah, and I him. Speaking of Savannah, she had a big interview with Gwyneth Paltrow this week.
She sure did. I like the dynamic between the two of them because it's almost like a comedy routine where she's the straight man, but she's in on the joke about how like repressed she is compared to Gwyneth, who will say anything and everything concerning the human body and what can be done
Gwyneth
with it
is out there,
and to it.
But I laughed because Savannah did repeatedly keep bringing up that Gwyneth was turning 49.
Yeah, I know, right.
And finally, Gwyneth said, you keep bringing that up.
Yeah, right. And we all know why.
Well, Savannah's particularly focused because she turns 50 this year. Wow. 50. Pete, how far away are you from 50?
Several years.
Actually, I'm going to pivot to the question.
What?
So 855-355-47.
You're coming up with a new question?
Yeah, I am actually.
Right. She's good at this, on the fly with these questions.
No, I want to know. Those of you out there that have hit 50 or approaching 50 or even after 50, what's your best advice as you approach that milestone?
You are good, Lib.
Well, it's true, and it happens to be authentic. I would be curious.
855-355-4789. So, yeah, it's clearly on Savannah's mind because she did bring it up with Gwyneth several times.
It is. And why is that number? Because I saw Gwyneth's face also when she said it the second time kind of go, yep. When you hear 49,
yeah,
it must just feel
well, okay. I am
hard.
46. So I will say this. This is the first time where I've had a birthday when I turned 46.
Yep.
Where people, even early 40s, people are like, oh, yeah. Like that is the sentiment. Young. Like, yeah, 46. Oh, it just becomes a flat O. Like you're closer to 50. I feel like 50 nowadays is a lot different than 50 was when we were growing up.
Don't you feel like every generation says that?
Yeah, but I think you have to.
Okay.
I will also say this. When I turned 40, turning the year where you're 39 before you're 40, the build-up is much bigger than the actual turning of the date. Like once you're 40, it's like, who cares?
Doesn't 39 sound so young?
It sounds fantastic.
It sounds so young when you say that.
But I remember being 39 thinking, I can't believe I'm going to be 40. Oh my! You're thinking about it and you're dreading it and you're looking forward to it. And then it happens. You're like, oh, it's just another day. It's not a big deal. Probably the same thing when you're 49 going to 50, right?
Yeah, no, that is true. But 46 is an O. 40. I'm turning 43 next month, and that's a definite O.
It's a prime number.
43 is just a really unremarkable birthday.
Yeah, it is.
It's like, oh,
it's the same as so is 46.
You know, in Wayne's World, then they go, oh, we're in Delaware.
Oh, I'm 43.
That's how I feel. It's just like, oh, I'm 43.
It does
There's
mark
nothing to say.
3 years from one of the best parties I've ever been to.
Oh, my 40th?
Yeah.
Thank you, Pete.
It was greatest.
Yeah, it was a fun party.
Still an epic night.
It was.
Still telling stories about that night.
It was. We still look at pictures from that night.
Every once in a while, we'll just thumb through them. We still have pictures of that in my house on a thing.
The funny is, it was, first of all, it was like, we haven't really done anything because it's been the pandemic. So it feels like
it was a last.
If there had been other events in between, we might not think about it as much, but there haven't.
No.
And the best is the just assortment of people in the pictures and
really
what they were wearing.
It was a Sgt. Pepper's cover.
Maz looked like a beat cop from the 70s.
Maz with a mustache. It looked so natural. Maz didn't look like Maz. But he didn't look like a character. He looked like a real guy.
He did. He did.
But not Maz.
Like he was about to hit the streets in the East Village
and
round
theme,
some
we
people up.
We should mention the theme was late 70s. The year you're born.
1978.
78.
It was 78 glamour.
And Maz really went for it with his mustache.
Didn't really meet.
I was dressed like a yacht captain, which is glamorous. They had yachts in the late 70s.
I am convinced that any costume party we have, no matter what the theme from now until, let's say, the next decade, you will wear that.
It's hanging up prominently in my closet, ready to go.
Well, we are getting some callers. The question at hand is advice as you approach 50 and what to think about.
Am I reading this right for this next caller?
Yeah, do we still have that open? Okay, here we go.
Everybody, drink it in.
It's Cindy from Buffalo.
Say, hey, Sin. What's up? Is this really Cindy from Buffalo?
It is in the flesh.
Oh, wow.
Oh, my God. I'm breathing a sigh of relief because it's been a long, long time since we've heard from you, Cindy.
It has been a long time and many pounds off of you, I understand, Pete.
Well, listen, I look fantastic, but that's neither here nor there.
I know. I want to Google a picture of you now. I'm so excited for you. I'm really proud of you.
You're pretending like you haven't, but that's fine. Cindy, what?
I haven't. I need to.
What brings you back?
Well, I just was like, oh my gosh, it's Thursday and it's 1:00. I have to call. It's been 2 years or something?
It has. I mean, that's so
has.
crazy. We didn't really do anything live during the pandemic, which is crazy.
Yeah.
No.
Did you start listening recently again, or?
You know what? I've definitely been listening on and off, but my life has been a little crazy. My third child is about to go off to college.
Oh, wow.
She's in
Congrats.
the whole
That's great.
college discovery phase and her senior year. So I'm feeling very old, hence back to the 50 and over. I am 52, so I'm on the other side.
Yeah, it's interesting. We've been talking about that. What do you have for us?
Well, I have to say, Libby, that your neck betrays you. It really does. Your skin decides that it is going to go south and it is going to start sagging. So, Libby, and you too, Pete, of course, because I know you want to be pretty forever.
Yeah.
You've got to address the neck skin. That's just where it's at.
Okay, you know what's so funny? So we had
How does that work?
There's an executive at NBC News named Elena Nachmanoff who has mentored generations of correspondents and producers. Elena's been a mentor of mine. And we were on a train to D.C. once. This was probably 5 to 10 years ago. And she said, my only advice for you is to make sure you're putting lotion on the décolletage. That's your neck and your, it's kind of here, right?
Yes.
And I remember
Nora Ephron
thinking, okay, that sounds crazy, but okay. But I always think of her when I put cream on my neck.
There you go. You think of her once a day.
Yeah.
Well, yes. And sunblock on your hands and your décolleté. Very, very important. If you have sunblock in your face, do your neck, your décolleté, and your hands. Like I keep sunblock in my car to do my hands every day.
What is the proper way to say it? Is it décolleté?
You're looking at the wrong guy. I didn't even know it was a word until about 2 minutes ago.
Halls? Décolletage?
I just call it the southern neck.
Okay, the southern neck. But that is actually the best advice, I think. I mean, what other than that? I mean, who cares? Just have a great neck.
Great neck.
Who cares?
I like that. I'm going to start saying that. She's a great lady. Great neck.
I honestly just think it's about accepting the skin you're in and saying, you know what, I am blessed, I am lucky, I'm grateful to be here, and I'm just going to make every day as good as it can be, and I'm going to tell the people I love them, because you never know how long we have. And
that is so true.
Staying positive is the way to be. So
well,
that's my advice.
Some classic Cindy from Buffalo right there.
Cindy, you are you're a national treasure. At
Cindy,
least
I was getting worried. We this is probably like our third or fourth call-in show, and you hadn't. I was like going to start Googling myself to make sure, but it's kind of random. There's probably several Cindys from Buffalo, but I'm glad that you're well.
Yes,
Cindy will email me from time to time and say, make sure Pete and Maz are okay.
Yes,
you do.
I care about you guys.
I know.
Samesies.
Yes. I know how hard you work, and your hours are crazy. So I just have to say, I just admire you all, and thanks for entertaining us. It's fun to hear the behind the scenes, and of course, Holly's so awesome, and of course
she's
Brian and
fantastic.
So,
yeah, Holly is the best, and we gave Holly a lot of love last week. I'm not sure if you heard. I'm not sure I'm up for it again.
No, she knows where she stands.
Well, it's
Holly's
funny
the best.
because a long time
Great lady, great neck.
Well, a long time ago. Yes, great neck. Well, when Dawn was still in charge many years ago, I remember calling in at one point, and they said, "Okay, which one of the anchors would you like to have lunch with?" And I called in and I said, I really want to have lunch with Holly. She seems like such a great gal. And I said, you need to give her a raise. And I think she's risen in the ranks since then. So I was like a harbinger of things to come.
Wow. Yeah. So you have a good spot you can spot talent.
Yeah, there you go. And she has.
Spot talent.
Cindy, so just a plug for Western New York. We are hitting the stream next week. So tell your friends today.com at 1 o'clock we're actually airing on Fridays, right? The day after. But anyway, so today.com is where our stream is. You could do today.com/all-day. And we're putting all of our serious shows online for everybody to see. I just want to give a plug. Off the Rails, Happy Hour, Hoda's show, our show. It's going to be fun.
Absolutely. I am very excited. Awesome.
Yeah. Well, it wouldn't be possible without our friends at SiriusXM.
Cindy, you've been threatening it for years. When are you going to come down to the plaza and say hello?
I know. I definitely need to do that.
Like you said, life's too short.
I will let you guys know. I will let you know. But I do have to say, though, like on a milestone birthday, getting back to that really quickly, like on my 40th, we had a fantastic party with all of my friends from different stages of my life, and we had a weekend. And then my 50th, my husband surprised me and brought me to New York City, and we stayed at the Carlisle and did all the amazing restaurants. And it was so fun. Yeah, we had a piano in our suite, so I will never forget
that's pretty
that.
cool.
The Carlisle is a classic New York treasure.
Yes. And
just like
the
you, Lib.
food and all the wonderful restaurants. Yes, just like you. So plan ahead for these big birthdays, guys. Make them special because you get one go around, right?
Yeah, well, thank you, Cindy. Call back every week. We love hearing from you.
Yeah, Cin. Always a pleasure.
Okay, be well.
Bye.
Take care.
Hugs to all.
Bye.
Honestly, I
should have given her the update that David Schwimmer and I didn't work out. That's the last time we've talked to Cindy.
Oh God.
Do you remember that?
I will never forget that. Oh,
that definitely didn't pan out.
Happen.
Not only did it not happen, it didn't even remotely happen.
No, it didn't. It wasn't meant to be.
No, it wasn't meant to be.
You and Schwimmer. You and Hollywood's David Schwimmer.
That was people were giving me advice.
Oh my God,
tell them about your favorite Friends episode. I don't think that would have worked out well.
Oh my God.
Isn't that funny? Well, it's good to hear Sin.
Yeah, I'm glad she's well. Honestly, I was concerned.
She sounds great, and Cindy sounds so young. I can't imagine her being 50.
Remember, wasn't her whole deal like she dated the bassist from Slayer or something like that?
Something like that. No, we would always laugh because anything we'd talk about, she would have some connection to.
Yeah, she did, right.
We would say, Bon Jovi's on the show.
I was in the jacuzzi with Elon Musk just a couple of weeks ago.
Jacuzzi with Elon Musk. Oh, that's pretty good. Well, it's good to hear from our old-time fans.
Yeah.
855-355-4789. What advice do you have as you hit 50? I mean, you could be 32 and tell us that you don't even have to think about that right now.
Any milestone birthday, really.
I'm turning 43. Pete's already 46. We're in the 40s malaise.
Yes, I think that's probably true.
I actually think, Pete, you've probably never looked better.
Well, I don't know. I look pretty awesome in my... No, thank you, Liv.
Well, let's say in the last decade.
For sure. I feel and look fantastic.
I think so. Well, Holly's giving us the man in rap sign. Yeah. But give us a call, 855-355-4789. I'll call it out again, and we'll take your head into 50 advice. on today's show, Confident.
This isn't about spending going forward. This is about spending that's already happened. Do you accept the idea that we have a crisis at the border? The vaccine mandate. Is this going to work, or is this going to backfire? If it's Sunday, it's Meet the Press.
Nearly a dozen hours after the eye roared ashore. There is some late-breaking news.
All right,
Make the most of your day with Today All Day. Get closer to all your friends in today in a whole new way.
Today in 30. We give you a mix of everything you love about our show in a mere 30 minutes.
Shop today with Jill Martin.
We're helping you shop like never before.
The latest styles and biggest names. Today food.
Things are heating up in the Today All Day kitchen.
Cooking essentials and recipe inspiration.
Get ready. Are you ready? Oh, I'm so ready.
Only on Today All Day.
Grab your apron for a new podcast, Cooking Up a Storm with Al Roker.
My forecast, yummy.
Some of the best chefs spill the beans on family secrets to get you ready for Thanksgiving.
This is fun. Bringing the heat for the holidays.
Follow now wherever you get your podcasts.
Make the most of your day with Today All Day. Get closer to all your friends in today in a whole new way.
Today in 30. We give you a mix of everything you love about our show in a mere 30 minutes.
Shop today with Jill Martin.
We're helping you shop like never before.
The latest styles and biggest names. Today food.
Things are heating up in the Today All Day kitchen.
Cooking essentials and recipe inspiration.
Get ready. Are you ready? Oh, I'm so ready.
Only on Today All Day.
This isn't about spending going forward. This is about spending that's already happened. Do you accept the idea that we have a crisis at the border? The vaccine mandate. Is this going to work, or is this going to backfire? If it's Sunday, it's Meet the Press.
Remember last week when I didn't know we were on the air?
That was amazing.
That was amazing.
The one
Let's
who
go,
texts.
if we can take some callers, Hall.
Yeah.
We're going to do Maggie from Connecticut. Hi, Maggie.
Hi. Hi, how are you guys?
What's up, Mags?
Not much. How are you?
Never better.
We are good. We are analyzing the age of 50 today and what to know.
Well, I just turned 60 this summer.
60?
Okay.
And it's amazing. Life gets better as we age, just like fine wine.
Yep.
Keep that in mind. And cheese. And, 50 is just a number. You got to remember that. I remember being younger and looking at my mom, who was 50. They carried themselves in a different way.
They did, right?
They were more put together. Their hair was done. They always had the apron on and being
true.
all those good leave it to beaver things. Today at 50, at 60, my best friends are my kids, although I still am the parent. And you do things differently. You got to keep moving, keep the body moving, and it'll keep going. I'm an avid kayaker. I love to kayak in the ocean as well. And you just got to keep doing things. Your mind will put you where you want to be. If you want to feel old, you're going to be old. You become it. You're in control of your own life, So you make it work for you.
Maggie, are you available for Hoda's next podcast?
Or your own podcast.
It's so true. I mean, we are. It's our choice how we live our life. And what we believe in. So I
Amen.
think, like I said, it's just a number. My hair, I let it go gray, and all my friends follow me now. Going gray, and you just gotta look well put together.
That's awesome,
There you
Maggie.
go.
Well, you're a
In your body.
trailblazer. You should see our faces right now.
We're drinking it in, Mags.
We are drinking it in.
No. Well, I'm glad you're happy. But, it's really surreal, and it gets better. The sex
That's
gets
awesome.
better with your husband.
What?
Everything.
We weren't.
I don't know if I could say that.
Well,
we can.
you can say it.
Go
I mean,
ahead.
we had
Fantastic.
Savannah and Gwyneth started there this morning, so we might as well just keep it going today.
I know. I've seen them. So that's really good. You'll enjoy it.
Thank you for calling,
All right.
Maggie. You're an inspiration. Have a great day.
I'm looking forward to 60.
You as well. Thanks so much for everything. You put a smile on everyone's face.
Oh, thank you, Maggie.
Thank you, Maggie.
Nearly a dozen hours after the eye roared ashore. There is some late-breaking news.
All right,
To cover the news, you have to be in it. We'll take you to the front lines of the story, bringing your news feed to life. Streaming live every night. It's your news playlist.
Top Story with Tom Llamas. Weeknights at 7 on NBC News Now.
Grab your apron for a new podcast, Cooking Up a Storm with Al Roker.
My forecast, yummy.
Some of the best chefs spill the beans on family secrets to get you ready for Thanksgiving.
This is fun. Bringing the heat for the holidays.
Follow now wherever you get your podcasts.
Nearly a dozen hours after the eye roared ashore. There is some late-breaking news.
All right, it is.
Sometimes the news can be difficult and overwhelming for kids to understand.
Will coronavirus come back next year?
So to help make sense of it all, we've created a newscast just for them. Man, you know a lot. We hope your family will watch Nightly News Kids Edition.
Today is now a podcast available every morning. Listen wherever you get your podcasts.
Good morning, everybody. Welcome to Today.
Let's go! International Day of the Girl.
The strength and courage of these women is remarkable.
What's your message to girls who want to make a difference?
Believe in yourself. You can make it happen.
This isn't about spending going forward. This is about spending that's already happened. Do you accept the idea that we have a crisis at the border? The vaccine mandate. Is this going to work or is this going to backfire? If it's Sunday, it's Meet the Press.
Today is now a podcast available every morning. Listen wherever you get your podcasts.
Why don't we do Rhonda from Illinois?
I'm going to take up kayaking, I think. Yeah. Rhonda.
You're aging like a fine wine.
Jeez.
Hi, Rhonda.
Hi, how are you?
Good. Did you happen to hear anything that Maggie from Connecticut said?
I did. I heard a little bit of that.
Yeah, I think a lot of good advice there. What do you have for us, Rhonda?
Great if Rhonda's like, it's bull.
Well, first of all, I'm very excited that Cindy called in, too, because I've been listening since you guys started the show. So I've been a long-time listener, and I wondered where she was at as well.
Yeah, we were wondering what happened to her.
Same, Rhonda.
But my advice is, I'm 46, but I have a lot of friends turning 50, and so I'm invited on a lot of getaway trips.
Yeah.
Well, I happened to go on this getaway trip, so just be careful on what you sign yourself up for and what's happening, because my girlfriends and I took a trip to Napa, so talk about fine wine, and had an amazing experience, went to the French Laundry, and I guess girl. But when we got back to the house we rented, this lady went off the rails. She went crazy.
Oh, my God.
Little hangover situation?
I mean, it was before the hangover. I'm
okay.
Sure she had a day, but she proceeded to want to ruin everyone else's trip.
Oh, no.
She literally screamed at the top of her lungs like a crazy tiger or lion she just went crazy.
Hey, Pete, when a bunch of women get together, just get out of the way.
Have a lot of wine. Yes, exactly. So
I guess your advice is
any of these people.
Yeah.
Any of these two with the birthday girl.
I'm assuming Rhonda's assuming that the crazy lady from this party does not listen to Today's Show Confidential.
No.
Even if she is, she knows who she is.
Oh.
Does she regret it, or is she fine with her decisions?
She was very fine with her decision, which
Wow.
blew me away.
Is she still in the friend group?
She is not.
There you go.
She was never my friend, but
Got it.
she's no longer friends with my friend who turned 50. But
I can't wait to see this on Netflix.
Rhonda bringing the me out at Today's Show Confidential.
I love it.
Have a good day. Keep listening.
Thank you so much.
Okay, so Pete and I have this joke, Holly, that we watch SNL and we're SNL fans. And when Fred Armisen and Vanessa Bayer did a sketch where they were best friends and they would take on different eras.
Right.
And that felt like
it did.
So when they would talk about Gaddafi, they were Libyan
and Pete
residents.
Right.
I don't know if I'm explaining this correctly.
Right.
But anyway, it was one of those things where Rhonda, it's like, oh, we went to a 50th birthday party. The thing is, there was a crazy girl. Can you explain this better? I'm not explaining it.
It's two good friends talking about another friend and how great that person is. But the thing about that person is, and then they just go off and whisper for a while about how crazy and how bad
Pete and
they
I
are.
pretty much do it every day, all day long.
Yeah, pretty much.
I mean, it's nice. Don't get me wrong.
The thing about me and Libby is we're jerks.
Yeah. We might might talk about you. I mean, it happens.
But we love you. You're great. You're great. No, they're great.
They're great.
All right.
So we
Speaking
got to
of great.
wrap. It was great to have Maggie from Connecticut,
Yeah.
Rhonda, Cindy, everybody. Thanks for calling in. Happy Thursday. Join us next week.
Happy Monday to all of you joining us on Today All Day. I'm Joe Fryer. I'm filling in for Carson here on Popstar Plus. Excited to bring you all kinds of entertainment news and interviews all week. Today on our show, we have a conversation that will get you in the holiday spirit. We spoke with the cast of Love Hard, a new Netflix romantic comedy out now. And later, we have a special memory from our Today Vault to mark a major Harry Potter anniversary. Up first, though, here's your pop star. First up, Sarah Jessica Parker. This morning, the actress is opening up about the eagerly anticipated new Sex and the City reboot. In an interview with Vogue, she takes aim at harsh comments made about her and her co-stars and what she sees as a double standard for women. Morgan Radford is here with details. Hey, Morgan, good morning.
Hey there, guys. Good morning. So we all remember Sex and the City, and fans of the hit show were thrilled at the chance to see their favorite fashionistas back on the screen. But there's been a surprising amount of criticism, too, as some on social media made some really tough comments about the star's aging appearance. And that's why Sarah Jessica Parker is firing back.
It's Sarah Jessica. Hello from New York City.
And just like that, Carrie Bradshaw is back in the big city.
Please, you were drunk and he was rich.
More than 2 decades after the show first premiered, the next chapter of Sex and the City is almost here.
I'm talking about a woman's right to shoes.
And while fans can't wait to see the latest trends and high fashion, some on social media are only focused on the appearance of Sarah Jessica Parker and the show's other stars and how they've aged. Online, the criticism has been harsh. Some poking fun and comparing them to the Golden Girls.
I'm so tired of calming down.
Which is why Sarah Jessica Parker isn't holding back. Speaking out in a new article for the December issue of Vogue, saying it almost feels as if people don't want us to be perfectly okay with where we are. Adding, there's so much misogynist chatter in response to us that would never happen about a man. Over the summer, Parker's appearance was also scrutinized after she was photographed rocking her natural silver-streaked hair while dining with her longtime friend Andy Cohen. Parker telling Vogue he has a full head of gray hair and he's exquisite. Why is it okay for him? And speaking about her own looks, she says, "What am I going to do about it? Stop aging? Disappear?" Parker has received a wave of support online for standing up against ageism in Hollywood.
Shooting, as we speak, the next chapter of Sex and the City.
The 10-episode revival series on HBO Max follows beloved characters Carrie, Miranda, and Charlotte as they continue their friendship from their 30s into their 50s. The show's creators say you can expect the same great friendships and fashion as the women navigate the challenges of love and life in the Big Apple, but at a more mature age, with silver hair not often shown on the silver screen.
Sarah Jessica Parker is also an executive producer for the series, which does premiere next month. Actress Kim Cattrall, who played the fourth member of the group, Samantha, will not be in this version of the show. But creators say the reboot will feature a new, more diverse cast, guys.
All right. See, a lot of folks looking forward to that. All right. Thank you, Morgan.
Of course.
All right. Up next, Saturday Night Live this weekend, Kieran Culkin took the stage as host for the first time, but it wasn't the Succession star's first appearance on the iconic show. Back in 1991, when his big brother Macaulay hosted, Kieran joined for a few sketches and was lucky enough to be hoisted into the air by Kevin Nealon during the show's end credits. Well, 30 years later, Kieran got to recreate that adorable moment as the cast waved goodnight. Kenan Thompson and Chris Redd threw Kieran up on their shoulders so he could ham it up one more time. Love that moment. And it was also a big show for the first-time host, packed with celebrity cameos. During Ego Wodom's popular sketch, The Dionne Warwick Show, she welcomed a surprise guest to the stage.
Oh, my God.
The actual Dionne Warwick. Check this out.
Today I heard a song by an artist called Young Boy Never Broke Again. Why aren't people just called Burt Bacharach anymore?
Well, you know, that is an excellent question, and I don't know the answer, but I will keep tweeting until I find out.
Everyone loves her tweeting. That sketch proves one thing to Dionne Warwick's are better than one. Yeah. Love that. All right, next up, Adele. Ahead of the release of her upcoming album 30, the Grammy winner is set to appear in a broadcast special event called Adele One Night Only. And great news for fans who just can't wait until Sunday. The set list is already out. Songs include the classics like Hello, Rolling in the Deep, and Someone Like You, mixed in with a few unheard tracks from the new album. It's been a busy week for Adele. On Saturday, she performed in the UK for the first time in 4 years at the London Palladium. We can't wait to hear more from the new singer when 30 drops November 19th. That is the end of next week.
Yeah, can't wait. Mark your calendar.
Forward to. She has a song called I Drink Wine. That
could be our anthem.
Exactly. All right, next up, Jennifer Nettles, the Sugarland singer currently starring in Waitress on Broadway. She recently made one superfan's day when she popped by their store on her way to work. Check this out.
Hey Lizzie, Jennifer Nettles here. So I have been seeing you night after night in the audience. I figured it's about time that we meet. Did a little snooping around and learned that you work at the Drama Bookshop right here in New York City.
It doesn't get any sweeter. She knew right away when she saw her. That's special. And she's seen the show 8 times so far.
Wow. Jennifer Nettles is the best.
The best.
Oh, this is
Lovely
beautiful.
moment. They got a big hug. They took some pictures. Love it. All right, finally, Ed Sheeran, the Grammy winner, just wrapped up a huge week. His new album, Equals, grabbed the #1 spot on the Billboard charts. Previous albums, #6 collaborations project, Divide and Multiply, also debuted in the top spot. So this latest album is Sheeran's 4th to hit #1 on the Billboard 200 list. Now to the reason we call this show Pop Start Plus, we have even more headlines for you. First up, Tim McGraw and Faith Hill, the country music power couple stepping into the world of Yellowstone. Fans getting a peek at Tim and Faith's characters in the first trailer for the prequel series 1883. The new show follows the Dutton family as they embark across the Great Plains at the turn of the century. Take a look.
The road west is filled with failures. It was a dream, and the dream is coming true. We are in the land of no mercy now.
1883 is set with an all-star cast featuring Sam Elliott and Billy Bob Thornton. Next up, Cardi B, the Grammy-winning rapper, is used to fans clamoring and dying to grab a selfie, but you'll never guess who she was just caught fangirling over. Watch this.
Come on, look at my friend, guys.
Yes, that's Twilight star Robert Pattinson, Cardi channeling her inner Twihard in this video posted to Twitter, captioning the post, "Look who I met the other day, I felt like a teen." And that's the kind of energy we want to bring into this Monday. Finally, Dolly Parton, big casting news from the Queen of Country. Parton is set to reunite with her former 9 to 5 co-stars in the upcoming season of Netflix's Grace and Frankie. She will join series stars Jane Fonda and Lily Tomlin in the show's final season set to debut next year. No news yet on the character that Parton will be stepping into, but we're all keeping our fingers crossed for another soundtrack anthem. And those are today's headlines. Next, hear from the stars of Netflix's latest holiday comedy. Stay tuned.
Good morning, everybody. Welcome to today.
Let's go.
We're going to kick off the Pink Power and Breast Cancer Awareness Month.
What's the best thing about being this age? You have nothing to prove because you already proved it.
What does it feel like to be in a city that you love so much?
I am humbly proud that I stuck up for my town.
We all have the honor of helping reopen the doors.
Broadway is back!
People really don't know what's going to happen. Nearly a dozen hours after the Eye roared ashore. More good people than bad people, you know, right? 5 seconds. 4, 3. There is some late-breaking news 4 hours into the Iowa caucuses by the hand deliberations.
All right, it just did too.
Make the most of your day with Today All Day. Get closer to all your friends of today in a whole new way.
Today in 30. We give you a mix of everything you love about our show in a mere 30 minutes.
That's your
Shop today with Jill Martin.
We're helping you shop like never before.
The latest styles and biggest names. Today Food.
Things are heating up in the Today All Day kitchen.
Cooking essentials and recipe inspiration.
Is that ready? Are you ready?
Oh, I'm so ready.
Only on Today All Day.
Welcome back to Pop Stars Plus. Nina Dobrev might be most known for her roles in Degrassi in The Vampire Diaries, but nowadays she stars in a light-hearted romantic comedy about a woman who's searching for love during the holidays. We caught up with her and her co-star Darren Barnett. Take a look.
Dating has never really been easy, but modern online dating,
you're married,
is even harder.
Love Hard is a feel-good Christmas romantic comedy that is about a girl who gets catfished and goes on a journey of discovering herself and realizing her flaws and accepting the flaws of others.
What kind of psychopath creates a fake profile and then starts a fake relationship online? Whoa.
Natalie she's a helpless romantic who will do just about anything in the pursuit of love. And what drew me to the character is that she seeks perfection and she's trying to find the perfect guy, but really what she needs to do is turn the lens to herself and realize that she's flawed, and so she can't expect to find perfection if she's not perfect herself, and no one is perfect. And at the end of the day, the two prospects that she has are both really wonderful catches, and ultimately it's not about finding the perfect guy, it's about finding the perfect guy for her.
What you need to know about Tag is he likes outdoorsy, adventurous women. You climb.
Me? Do I climb? You didn't tell me he was Tom Cruise.
Tag is the king of the outdoors. As Nina's character Natalie mentions in the movie, he's like Tom Cruise, which was very fun to play because I am not that ambitious when it comes to outdoor activities. But he's, very, I think, aloof and very kind of goes where the wind takes him and goes with the flow. He's that guy that I think a lot of people love to hate at some points because, it's like, is this real? But I think it is real with Tag, and that makes it even more interesting when Natalie begins, trying to conform to that norm that Tag is used to. I don't think he has a diabolical bone in his body, and he was very fun to play.
This has been nice. I haven't been on a hike date in years.
Oh, this is not the date. It's just a warm-up. You ever been bobsledding before?
We had so much fun on set shooting this film, and both Jimmy and Darren are wonderful human beings. We were shooting during the pandemic, so we were in a bubble, and we really got to know each other very, very well. And the chemistry off screen translated onto screen and felt like we were very familiar. But we had a lot of the duality of playing Natalie in front of Tag versus Natalie just as herself was really fun and offered a lot of comedic moments. And I could personally relate a lot to her because I've definitely racked up a lot of frequent flyer miles trying to go around the globe searching for love.
I really enjoyed the dinner scene with Nina. We were ad-libbing a lot, and I think some of it made the cut, but Hernan really let us go off the rails with that. That was one of my favorite parts of shooting, was just the whole ad-lib process we got to do in that scene.
I feel like every day could have been my favorite moment, and every day just kept on getting better and better because every scene was filled with a new experience that was just as outlandish, if not more than the last. Even the bobsledding stuff that we did with Darren, it was it was just so fun. We had a great time.
Yeah.
The karaoke scene that I had to do definitely stood out. I was definitely nervous. I'm not looking to drop an album anytime soon. Singing is not my passion in life. And so I was nervous, but going to the studio and laying down the tracks and reframing it in my brain and reminding myself that it's supposed to be a funny scene and my character's not supposed to be some great singer, it helped a lot, kind of take the pressure off.
I had no idea that was you. That was you. That really? Is, I had no idea until right now. Yeah. That's so crazy. That's amazing. I mean, that's a compliment to you because I didn't know you sang. And so I was like, oh, they got a singer for this. You totally sing. That's awesome.
Yeah, right. Well, thank you. I appreciate it. No, Jimmy and I both, we had to do another song for Baby It's Cold Outside. So I had to lay down 2 tracks.
Dang.
Whoa.
You can do it all, Nina.
If I've learned anything, is that love doesn't have to be perfect. It just has to be honest.
I think that being honest is the #1 thing. If anyone takes anything away, it's to take a lesson away and not do what the characters did if you can't avoid it. But then again, at the same time, that's what life is about, is making mistakes and learning from them and growing. So maybe do it and get burned so that you know what not to do next time.
Yeah, I think just in a culture where we're so compared to everyone else around us, we inevitably end up doing it ourselves, and it can make you feel less than. So really show what you got, because I think you have more to offer than you really know, and you're doing nothing but robbing yourself by trying to be anybody else but you. Yeah.
And lead with yourself and be honest with yourself, because it will ultimately lead you to your person when you're yourself.
Love Hard is streaming now on Netflix. Coming up, we spoke to one of the stars of Gilmore Girls for our flashback series, and later a conversation with Harry Potter 20 years ago.
For breaking news in our changing world, download the NBC News app.
Good morning, everybody. Welcome to Today. Let's go. We're going to kick off the Pink Power and Breast Cancer Awareness Month.
What's the best thing about being this age? You have nothing to prove, because you already proved it.
What does it feel like to be in a city that you love so much?
I am humbly proud that I stuck up for my town.
We all have the honor of helping reopen the doors.
Broadway is back!
Grab your apron for a new podcast, Cooking Up a Storm with Al Roker.
My forecast, yummy.
Some of the best chefs spill the beans on family secrets to get you ready for Thanksgiving.
This is fun. Bringing the heat for the holidays.
Follow now wherever you get your podcasts.
To cover the news, you have to be in it. We'll take you to the front lines of the story, bringing your news feed to life. Streaming live every night. It's your news playlist.
Top Story with Tom Llamas, weeknights at 7 on NBC News Now.
This isn't about spending going forward. This is about spending that's already happened. Do you accept the idea that we have a crisis at the border? The vaccine mandate. Is this going to work, or is this going to backfire? If it's Sunday, it's Meet the Press.
Sometimes the news can be difficult and overwhelming for kids to understand.
Will coronavirus come back next year?
So to help make sense of it all, we've created a newscast just for them. Man, you know a lot. We hope your family will watch Nightly News Kids Edition.
Good morning, everybody. Welcome to Today.
Let's go. International Day of the Girl.
The strength and courage of these women is remarkable.
What's your message to girls who want to make a difference?
Believe in yourself. You can make it happen.
Thanks for hanging out here with us on Pop Start Plus. To any Gilmore Girls fans watching, this next one is for you. The beloved television show featuring a fast-talking mother-daughter duo premiered 21 years ago. Scott Patterson played curmudgeon diner owner Luke Danes, and for our flashback series, we got a chance to catch up with him about his favorite storylines and moments from the series.
It's the cell phone line. I get that a lot.
What?
Outside.
Are you kidding? It's like the North Pole out
Hey,
there.
this sign isn't just a decoration.
Honey, nothing in here is a decoration.
It disturbs the other customer.
And if I'm on my cell phone, I get it a lot. And people will point at me and go, I'll kick you out of here. You go, ha, ha, ha. You go off your cell phone. I'm like, yeah, okay, fine.
I was looking for your paprika, Stretch.
Hey, what have I said about the counter?
I know,
The
but...
counter is a sacred space, my sacred space. You don't do yoga on the Dalai Lama's mat, and you don't come behind my counter, period.
Well, my favorite part about playing Luke, having a regular job. It's hard to have a regular job in Hollywood. It's very competitive. There aren't a lot of jobs. And it was just knowing that, you were going to go to work and be challenged. But just the experience of playing such an iconic character and the feedback that I get on a daily basis from it, it's quite shocking. And it still surprises me. And it seems to be oddly, growing in prominence. I mean, the role, the show, the fan base keeps growing globally. I mean, it just keeps getting bigger and bigger and bigger. So it's a wonderful experience. Favorite scenes, I really think it was that initial scene in the pilot where we see him and we see Lorelai for the first time.
Please, Luke. Please, please, please.
How many cups have you had this morning?
None.
Plus?
5, but yours is better.
You have a problem.
Yes, I do.
Junkie.
I tell her she has a problem. How many cups have you had? I mean, I think that, because that really sets us on the path. I mean, it was a very difficult scene to play because it had to say so much, but we couldn't really tip our mitts about the potential of the relationship. It just, it was a real balancing act with that scene. And it was when I realized that, how good Lauren was as an actress. And there was only one time I was really nervous on set, was when we were preparing to do the first kiss. And, because Lauren and I both wanted to get it right. And there's so many traps set up for a situation like that in an acting sense where you can either do too little or do too much. So it was, the nervousness from both of us was, man, gosh, I hope we get this right.
What are you doing?
Will you just stand still?
And then you just sort of lean back on your training and your instincts, like, hey, how do I feel about this person? How does Luke feel about her? How would he react in this moment? I'm very proud of what we did because I thought it was really, it had intensity, yet it was soft and tender. Quotes, the name of the first episode is Red Meat Can Kill You. Enjoy. So it says everything about him.
Red meat can kill you. Enjoy.
What inspired me to launch a Gilmore Girls podcast was the fans are clamoring for content. They are clamoring for connection. They want to be inside that show. They want to be involved in the show. We're not making any episodes for them. It's been 5 years now, since the Year in the Life, and it's just too long to thirst for the Gilmore drink. And I think any type of comforting voice from the set of the show is going to engage people in a positive way. It's going to support how they feel about the show, their lives. It's going to help them. I mean, fans would love it. And, I love chopping it up with the cast members. We always had a lot of fun on set. I thought, well, why not take that feeling and that vibe to a podcast format? And iHeart thought it was a great idea. And here we are. My favorite episodes to revisit are, I think the episode where we get the name of the podcast from, that episode where I declare my undying love for her and that I am all in. I think the first kiss as well. And I really like the episode where I push Milo in the leg. And where I take the sledgehammer to the wall and say, we'll hold hands and skip.
That's your rope. Finish up. We'll hold hands and skip afterwards.
I enjoyed making them all, but especially that one because it was finally there was something physical to do instead of like spitting out a million words per second. And really just all of them, but you really can't go wrong. I watched the pilot again after 20 years. I hadn't seen it in 20 years. It's the only show that I watched, and I was delighted. I thought it was just epic, and how great the acting was and how great the writing was. It was magical.
All Our thanks to Scott Patterson for revisiting such a great show with us. And last but not least, did you know the film Harry Potter and the Sorcerer's Stone turns 20 this weekend? Hard to believe, right? Well, we found an interview from our archive you have to see with a young Daniel Radcliffe next.
Good morning, everybody. Welcome to Today. Let's go. We're going to kick off the Pink Power and Breast Cancer Awareness Month.
What's the best thing about being this age? You have nothing to prove, because you already proved it.
What does it feel like to be in a city that you love so much?
I am humbly proud that I stuck up for my town.
We all have the honor of helping reopen the doors.
Broadway is back!
The Meet the Press Chuck Toddcast, free wherever you get your podcasts.
Grab your apron for a new podcast, Cooking Up a Storm with Al Roker.
My forecast, yummy.
Some of the best chefs spill the beans on family secrets to get you ready for Thanksgiving.
This is fun. Bringing the heat for the holidays.
Follow now wherever you get your podcasts.
Sometimes the news can be difficult and overwhelming for kids to understand.
Will coronavirus come back next year?
So to help make sense of it all, we've created a newscast just for them. Man, you know a lot. We hope your family will watch Nightly News Kids Edition.
This isn't about spending going forward. This is about spending that's already happened. Do you accept the idea that we have a crisis at the border? The vaccine mandate. Is this going to work or is this going to backfire? If it's Sunday, it's Meet the Press. The Meet the Press Chuck Toddcast, free wherever you get your podcasts.
For breaking news in our changing world, download the NBC News app.
We're back. This month marks 20 years since the release of the film Harry Potter and the Sorcerer's Stone. In honor of the occasion, let's take a look back at our Today interview with the film star Daniel Radcliffe when he was just 12 years old. Here's today's From the Vault.
First-time actor Harry Potter himself, Daniel Radcliffe, is with us this morning. Actually, not a first-time actor. You have a little bit of experience. Hi, Dan. How are you?
I'm very well, thanks. How are you?
I'm fine, thanks. Well, let's talk about the whirlwind your life has been recently. Yesterday was the premiere here in the Big Apple. A week before that was the London premiere. Red carpets, flashing lights, entertainment reporters. I mean, what was it like?
It was pretty scary, but it was pretty scary, but it was really good fun. And everybody there, like Chris Columbus, he was there and he just makes you feel like really at ease.
Was it exciting though, just to kind of finally, I mean, this was the product of 9 long months of very hard work, frankly, by you and the rest of the cast and everybody involved in the picture. So it must have been just wonderful to kind of have the weight off your shoulders and be able to sort of have a good time.
It was fun, but I was quite nervous, but it was very cool.
You were nervous
really
about
enjoyed.
how the movie would be received, or just all the attention?
I was kind of just nervous about like seeing all the photographers and everything like that. I was kind of nervous about that.
Yeah, the paparazzi, they can be a little overwhelming, I'm sure, especially for someone who's 11 years old. You're still 11 or 12? When did you turn 12?
July 23rd.
Oh, that's right. Oh, that's my daughter's birthday. Happy birthday. Anyway, let's go back, because I know that at first, I feel it right now, Dan, as you must understand, I feel like the official Harry Potter historian / Warner Brothers flack. But having said that, I know all the whole story, and I know your backstory, which was there 2 months before shooting, there was no Harry Potter. Thousands of kids had auditioned, and the director, Chris Columbus, said, "Get me that kid from David Copperfield," right? Tell me how they discovered you and why they went after you so enthusiastically to play Harry Potter.
I have no idea.
Well, obviously, they're pretty captivated by your performance in David Copperfield.
I really don't know why they chose me, but I'm glad they did.
And at first, your parents weren't that enthusiastic, right?
They only had one concern, and that was because I've been up for David Copperfield and I've been up for Taylor of Panama, and on both of those, I kind of had a tendency to get my hopes up, and they knew that there were thousands of boys going up for the part, so they didn't want me to get my hopes up and then be disappointed, so they were just protecting me.
And they were, though, once you did get the part, they were pretty excited, as you were too.
We all were.
I know that when you were first tapped to play Harry Potter, you hadn't read the books, but after you got the role, you quickly devoured them and fell in love with them like so many other kids. What was it about the books that you found so great?
I think it was the fact that I think not only myself, but I think everybody can relate to Harry in some way. And I think as well, it's the idea of magic. When magic kind of comes to life, there's so much opportunity for absolutely anything to happen. And I think I kind of like to read about what could happen if magic really came to life.
Wow, it's truly amazing to see Daniel Radcliffe way back when. Well, there you go. That was today's Pop Start Plus. Please come hang out with us again tomorrow. Hoda has a great conversation with Reba McEntire for her Quoted By series. Thanks for watching. Bye now.
Hello, hello, you all there in the Today All Day world. Hope you had a great weekend.
We do. It's another big morning here on a Monday in Today in 30. So here's what's coming your way.
We're going to start with an update on that difficult scene as rapper Travis Scott performed in Houston. A fatal stampede of fans, 8 people killed, just ahead the memorials remembering the very young victims, and the latest on a criminal investigation now.
And then, have you experienced a lack of quality in customer service lately? Well, you may be experiencing the effects of something called skimpflation. We'll have a deeper look at what's causing that dip in service and whether it's here to stay.
All right, and then Al caught up with Gal Gadot to chat about her new film and what it was like working with Ryan Reynolds and Dwayne "The Rock" Johnson.
Nice cast. And get ready to laugh because Kenan Thompson joined me and Jenna. He celebrates 19 seasons on SNL.
What's up with that, darling? What's up with that? Remember
Yes,
that? Yeah,
I love that
that's
one.
My favorite.
It's
Kenan.
time for
Today in 30.
First, let's get to our top story, that tragic scene at a music festival in Houston over the weekend.
8 people were killed, hundreds more injured during a deadly stampede as the rapper Travis Scott performed, and it has quickly led to a criminal investigation and several lawsuits. NBC's Morgan Chesky on the scene for us in Houston with the latest. Morgan, good morning.
Yes, Savannah, Hoda, it is a somber morning here in Houston where flowers line the fence outside Energy Park for the 8 victims in this horrific situation. The youngest just 14 years old. And today we're learning that both Travis Scott and festival organizers are facing multiple lawsuits. This morning, disturbing new details emerging about the devastating events at rapper Travis Scott's show in Houston. A criminal investigation ongoing as those behind Astroworld Festival face multiple civil lawsuits.
Everyone was pushing to the front. You had no room to walk.
With an estimated 50,000 people in attendance, police say a sea of fans rushed towards the stage just minutes into Scott's Friday night performance.
You couldn't breathe. I'm talking about everybody was so crushed up on you.
The surge killing 8 people, all under the age of 30. The youngest just 14 years old. Video showing desperate fans climbing on stage to beg for help. At another point, as first responders tried to drive through the massive crowd to help, some fans seen dancing on medical vehicles. Witnesses described feeling helpless, watching some fans fall unconscious before being trampled. 25 people were hospitalized, 11 suffering from cardiac arrest. On stage, the rapper pausing his performance multiple times.
We need somebody to help him. Somebody passed out right here.
But the show went on for nearly an hour. Scott's girlfriend, Kylie Jenner, who was also at the concert, says they weren't aware of any deaths until after the show.
I'm honestly just devastated, and I could never imagine anything like this just happening.
Police also investigating disturbing reports of a security guard pricked in the neck with a needle before falling unconscious. Medical staff saving him with a drug used to revive overdose patients. On Sunday, mourners gathering to honor one of the first victims laid to rest.
We're grieving. We're in pain.
The family of 27-year-old Danish Beg saying he died saving his fiancée from being crushed.
You go to a concert to have fun. You don't go to a concert to die.
And there is another concert of Travis Scott's that's getting increased scrutiny here. Back in 2017, where police say Scott encouraged fans to rush the stage that resulted in several injuries. Police are clear to say that it does not appear he did so in this Houston situation, but they say this investigation could take weeks, if not longer, as they're analyzing every angle of what took place that night. Savannah?
Morgan Chesky in Houston for us. Thank you, Morgan.
back now with In Depth today and this morning. Something that you have probably noticed, but didn't know what to call it.
Oh, but you will now, okay? If you've been waiting a little longer for your pizza to be delivered or wondered why hotel service isn't quite what it used to be, here's the word for it. Skimpflation.
Yes, NBC's Carrie Sanders has more on why some services still have not returned to their pre-pandemic quality. Hey, Carrie, good morning.
Well, good morning, guys. We've all heard the term inflation. If you took maybe an advanced economic course along the way, you learned the term stagflation. But even my cousin, who's a PhD economics professor at an Ivy League college, tells me he's never used the term skimpflation in his class, but it is very much real. It's where we pay what we've always paid, but now we get less for our money.
Skimpflation. You know it when the business you're dealing with seems like they're skimping on quality customer service. Book a flight online and then make a call to change your ticket. It can feel like the airline is skimping out because you're on hold for hours. Did the airline skimp by not hiring enough humans to answer phones? Want to order a pizza? Expect to wait and wait and wait. At Domino's, driver shortages are reportedly leading to longer delivery times. Even at the so-called most magical place on earth, the rides are back in action, the monorail humming. But a key convenience for parkgoers, the parking lot tram, still has not resumed since pandemic cutbacks and closures. Some park visitors must now walk nearly a mile in each direction from the parking lot to the Magic Kingdom.
That walk can be brutal. If you have been in the theme parks all day, walking all day long, you don't have any more energy left. So those trams are missed.
As businesses adapt to a post-pandemic marketplace, consumers report finding services they remember now gone.
If an organization is not expending the effort to really listen in and then deliver personalized experiences, they're just going to miss expectations and satisfaction is going to be very low.
3 years ago, ACSI reported overall customer satisfactions in the U.S. began falling. The pandemic only accelerated that decline. Satisfaction levels now at their lowest in 15 years. In the hospitality industry, hotel rooms may go uncleaned during multi-day stays. That personally made omelet at the hotel breakfast bar now, in many cases, no longer exists. At restaurants where waitstaffs are thin, surveys find customers less satisfied with the service, and in turn, diners say they're less likely to return.
I'm short 25 servers right now.
The stress kicks in when, at the peak hours, when you want to make sure you can take care of the customers that you have.
What's to blame?
What I hear from business leaders every day is they're all struggling with the competition for talent. They just can't find the people that they need.
New research finds annual losses of $1.9 trillion, driven by frustrated customers who say they won't come back.
All right, Carrie, you've identified the problem, so that's good. So how are we going to fix it?
Well, experts say businesses might want to raise wages because that might draw more employees back. And then again, us consumers, we might need to adjust our expectations, at least for the short term. For instance, reportedly, Disney is going to return those trams at the beginning of next year. Guys?
All right, Carrie Sanders. Carrie, thank you.
Stick around because there is much more coming up on Today in 30. Good morning, everybody. Welcome to Today. Let's go. We're going to kick off the Pink Power and Breast Cancer Awareness Month.
What's the best thing about being this age?
You have nothing to prove because you already proved it.
What does it feel like to be in a city that you love so much?
I am humbly proud that I stuck up for my town.
We all have the honor of helping reopen the doors.
Broadway is back!
For breaking news in our changing world, download the NBC News app.
Nearly a dozen hours after the eye roared ashore. There is some late-breaking news.
All right,
Grab your
secret for a new podcast, Cooking Up a Storm with Al Roker.
My forecast, yummy.
Some of the best chefs spill the beans on family secrets to get you ready for Thanksgiving.
This is fun. Bringing the heat for the holidays.
Follow now wherever you get your podcasts.
To cover the news, you have to be in it. We'll take you to the front lines of the story, bringing your news feed to life. Streaming live every night. It's your news playlist.
Top Story with Tom Llamas, weeknights at 7 on NBC News Now. For breaking news in our changing world, download the NBC News app.
The Meet the Press Chuck Toddcast, free wherever you get your podcasts.
Oh, get your popcorn and cotton candy ready because the Big Apple Circus is back.
Yes, after overcoming some financial challenges and, of course, being put on hold because of the pandemic, it is finally returned to the big time.
Yeah, high wire artist and Guinness World Record holder Nick Wallenda is known for his death-defying walk.
I remember that one.
And for his next act, he's taken on the challenge of reinventing this beloved show. He joins us live from where else? The High Wire. Hi, Nick. Good morning. Now, where are you? We're zooming in.
Oh, there you are.
Good morning.
Of course you are.
Of course you're doing a High Wire while doing an interview on the Today Show. Very impressive.
Thanks. It's the best view in the house, for sure.
So tell us about this reimagined, reinvented Big Apple Circus.
Yeah, you know, it's been my passion to reinvent and rejuvenate the circus. And this opportunity came up just before COVID started, actually. And as you guys know, we had to cancel last season. But to be at the helm of one of the greatest shows in America, the Big Apple Circus, right here in Lincoln Center, is truly a dream come true. We have reinvented and reimagined everything circus.
Well, you know, a lot of people have been to the Big Apple Circus and they wonder what's different. What are we going to see that's different? So what can we expect?
So everything from the moment you walk in the door, we've just tried to change the environment as a whole. My dream has always been to elevate the circus, no pun intended. I've done a pretty good job at that of some of my walks, but the reality is we want to turn this, or I want to turn this into a theater environment. So you're going to notice major changes from a grand drape to a brand new stage to an incredible set that you see behind me.
Hey, Nick, there's a lot happening beneath you there, all around you. Tell us about these performers that are there as well. What are they doing?
Yeah, so one of the blessings of my career is that I've been able to travel the world and headline with some of the greatest performers, and all of them are now here in New York City performing alongside of me, including Johnny Rocket, who's one of the greatest comedic daredevils right behind me. I've got amazing Arena, who is an amazing hula hoop artist. We have James on Rollabola. This is an act I've never seen before until I headlined with him over in Europe. We have the amazing Alan Silva, who was a semifinalist on America's Got Talent, who is now our Little Giant Ringmaster, which I'm extremely excited to have. And we have the Yab brothers, who are directly from Africa.
Hey, Nick, you've got a really diverse cast of performers. Was that intentional?
Gee.
You know, that's one of the things I love about the circus. I think society's trying to catch up with the circus, but everybody has always been welcome in the circus. I mean, look, I grew up with the bearded lady and the crab man, you know? So the reality is everybody has always been included in the circus. These people here are my family.
Well, speaking of your family, I heard your family's part of this production too.
That's right. My beautiful wife is part of this show. And then I have a lot of family that actually are working now behind the scenes. So it's been a cool opportunity to be at the helm of something so great and to bring in all of this experience, a lifetime. Of course, my family started in the 1780s, so over 200 years of circus operating experience.
Is that comfortable sitting there? Because I'm feeling uncomfortable watching you.
I have to admit, it's not very comfortable.
Seems like a wedgie danger.
Not as uncomfortable as juggling brothers there. If it lands wrong, that's a problem.
Oh, Nick, we want to say thank you. Thank you so much. Good luck.
Glad you guys are back.
Yeah.
Congrats.
Thank you so much.
Yeah, congrats. And again, you can catch Nick and the rest of the amazing performers at the Big Apple Circus. The shows kick off at Lincoln Center on Thursday and they run through January. So maybe something to do for the holidays.
Exactly.
Let's get a boost.
Here we go. Okay, a brave little boy named Waylon knows that a good attitude helps when you're facing a big challenge. So he danced to his favorite song as he headed into surgery for his heart transplant at Joe DiMaggio Children's Hospital in Florida. So by the way, Waylon also danced his way home, a new heart, after a total of 259 days in the hospital.
Wow, what an amazing little boy.
Way to go, Waylon.
To cover the news, you have to be in it. We'll take you to the front lines of the story, bringing your newsfeed to life. Streaming live every night. It's your news playlist.
Top Story with Tom Llamas, weeknights at 7 on NBC News Now.
Sometimes the news can be difficult and overwhelming for kids to understand.
Will coronavirus come back next year?
So to help make sense of it all, we've created a newscast just for them. Man, you know a lot. We hope your family will watch Nightly News Kids Edition.
Good morning, everybody. Welcome to Today.
Let's go! We're going to kick off the Pink Power and Breast Cancer Awareness Month.
What's the best thing about being this age? You have nothing to prove because you already proved it.
What does it feel like to be in a city that you love so much?
I am humbly proud that I stuck up for my town.
We all have the honor of helping reopen the doors.
Broadway is back!
Today is now a podcast, available every morning. Listen wherever you get your podcasts.
Nearly a dozen hours after the eye roared ashore. There is some late-breaking news.
All right, it's
Make the most of your day with Today All Day. Get closer to all your friends in today in a whole new way.
Today in 30.
We give you a mix of everything you love about our show
in a mere 30 minutes.
Shop today with Jill Martin.
We're helping you shop like never before.
The latest styles and biggest names. Today food.
Things are heating up in the Today All Day kitchen.
Cooking essentials and recipe inspiration.
Get ready. Are you ready?
Oh, I'm so ready.
Only on Today All Day.
If you are a fan of heist movies, well, the new film Red Notice is for you. Gal Gadot plays the Bishop, the world's greatest art thief. And she told me going head-to-head with Dwayne Johnson and Ryan Reynolds, and it was not only a great time, I tried to use my lasso of truth to get a little info on Wonder Woman 3.
Such a thrill to be face-to-face with the second best art thief in the world.
Oh, well, I see what you did there. That's... Yeah, you got lucky a couple times early on, you know, but you can't name one time in the past year that you beat me.
Helsinki.
My parachute failed.
Jakarta.
My Segway sank.
Macau.
Nobody knew that Miley Cyrus was going to be there. It was a completely unannounced show.
It's a heck of a romp. I don't know that I'd call you a villain, but it looks like you were really enjoying yourself.
Cheeky.
Was it as much fun playing this character as it looked?
Yes. There was something so refreshing and new and exciting to be able to play a character that is not all perfect and good and pure, but she has her edges and she is, like you said, more villainy. Such a clever disguise. Being able to shoot this movie with Dwayne Johnson and Ryan Reynolds was a true delight.
You've got three people who are probably equally as charismatic and people like to watch. What was it like chemistry-wise between the three of you?
It was awful, unbearable, really hard. But you gotta do what you gotta do. Yeah. It was fun and funny. Each of them bring his own personality, and they're so different from each other. And, you know, they're both so smart and intelligent and fun to work with and generous partners.
There's a wonderful dance scene between you and Dwayne Johnson. What was that like, having to choreograph a dance?
I used to be a dancer for many, many years before, and being able to do it again and on the screen and with DJ was like amazing. But I just wanted to make sure we have enough time to rehearse for everything because DJ is a big guy and I have big toes. And I was afraid of
you have big toes?
You know, I'm tall, so my feet are not petite. They're like, they're there. They have presence. No, but I gotta say, the DJ is like a swan, you know? He needed less rehearsals than I did. And I come from dancing. Yeah.
I guess we're gonna have to change your name to Gal Gadot. Gal today, what would she tell the 19 or 20-year-old Gal coming up today?
Stop worry. Just chill, enjoy the ride. Just enjoy the ride, and whatever needs to happen will happen.
Elle named you one of your 2021 Woman of the Year of Hollywood. We have seen over the last several years how important that female empowerment and finding that voice is. And as the mom of now 3 girls, what's your advice to especially young women who are coming up and are trying to find their voice?
I think that it all starts with self-love. We all need to validate ourselves. So we don't need anyone to validate us, and be confident with who we are and just own it and own our voice.
I would be remiss before letting you go. Anything you can tell us about Wonder Woman 3?
Yes, we're working on it. It's in the mix. It's cooking. It's coming.
Okay, the last one took place in 1984. Do we know what time period this next one takes place in?
We do. I do, yeah.
But that's as much as you'll give me.
I can't. I wish I could. There's so much about it I want to share, but I just can't.
Will we see a Red Notice 2?
I hope so. I love these guys, and I would love to have the opportunity to work with them again.
Well, as speaking as an audience of 2, my son and I, we are ready for a second Red Notice.
Really? We'll do it just for you, Al.
Yes!
Done.
Yes!
I'm going to let them know. They don't know yet.
That's right. And then maybe we could get together and do a little dance or something, because I've got very petite feet. I'm
with you. Oh, I love to dance. I'll bring DJ with me too.
I love it.
There you go. She can call him DJ, because of course they're pals. So here's some fun trivia for you. Do you know what Gal Gadot's favorite food is?
No.
It's mac and cheese. And ironically, she's now co-founded a new company called Goodles that's made a healthier version so she can eat it and her kids can eat it whenever they want.
Okay.
Red Notice is in select theaters, and right now will be streaming this Friday on Netflix, and you can catch her co-stars Dwayne Johnson and Ryan Reynolds later this week right here.
I love that. Made me like her even more.
Yeah, me too.
This isn't about spending going forward. This is about spending that's already happened. Do you accept the idea that we have a crisis at the border? The vaccine mandate. Is this going to work, or is this going to backfire? If it's Sunday, it's Meet the Press.
For breaking news in our changing world, download the NBC News app. Make the most of your day with Today All Day. Get closer to all your friends at Today in a whole new way.
Today in 30.
We give you a mix of everything you love about our show
in a mere 30 minutes.
Shop today with Jill Martin.
We're helping you shop like never before.
The latest styles and biggest names. Today Food.
Things are heating up in the Today All Day kitchen.
Cooking essentials and recipe inspiration.
Get ready. Are you ready?
Oh, I'm so ready.
Only on Today All Day.
To cover the news, you have to be in it. We'll take you to the front lines of the story, bringing your news feed to life. Streaming live every night. It's your news playlist.
Top Story with Tom Llamas. Weeknights at 7 on NBC News Now. For breaking news in our changing world, download the NBC News app.
To cover the news, you have to be in it. We'll take you to the front lines of the story, bringing your news feed to life. Streaming live every night. It's your news playlist.
Top Story with Tom Llamas. Weeknights at 7 on NBC News Now. For breaking news in our changing world, download the NBC News app.
Kenan Thompson just may be the busiest man in showbiz. It is his 19th season on SNL, making him the longest running cast member ever. Plus, his show Kenan in its 2nd season, and now he is in a new children's movie called Clifford the Big Red Dog.
Okay, we are so happy he took the time to stop by. Kenan.
Well, Kenan, you got one more thing to add to your list.
Yeah, we have an announcement.
Sorry, we are breaking news.
Break the news.
Wait, it does not happen often
What
on
is
this
it, another
hour.
job?
Yes.
Yes, and it's a big one. Kenan, you are going to be hosting
the People's Choice Awards.
Yeah.
What's up with that?
What's up with that?
Ooh-wee. Hold the cotton. What's up with that? We're just going to mix all the songs together.
Are you excited?
That's a cool honor.
For sure. Yeah, absolutely. And I got nominated twice, and SNL got nominated twice, so it's going to be a big show, I think. I'm getting ready to lose. Looking forward to that.
Wait, okay, the longest running cast member.
That's insane.
Like, when you hear that, are you like, let's keep going 20 more seasons? Or are you like, what's up with that?
As far as like my account is concerned, you know what I'm saying? Yes, I am. But no, it's an amazing feat to just go down in history with that show like that. You know what I'm saying? It's a definite chapter in American history.
Well,
for
it's so interesting how What's Up With That caught. Like, in a way that, I mean, very few things like stick forever. This thing, Sudeikis with that weird dance. I mean, I don't know where I'm looking. It's all so crazy. Did you ever think you pitched that idea, right?
Yeah, I had an idea, to do a talk show where I don't let people talk, and that's all I had basically. And I pitched it to my buddy Brian Tucker, and he stretched it out from there and added the Lindsey Buckingham element to it, and like all these other like guest stars that come in and like make it a full circus basically. So yeah.
We were there watching you perform that, and my husband was like, anything Keenan does.
You went to that show.
We got to watch you do
lucky.
that. But anything you do, it's like you light up the place.
Yes.
Thank you. I come to have a good time. You know what I'm saying? I come to have fun.
All right. So you got some other cool things that are in the works. Clifford the Big Red Dog is a biggie. Let's first.
It's a big dog.
Can we show you a sneak peek? You've already seen it, but let's see.
Let's see it.
Right.
Yeah, he's whew.
Are you gonna examine him?
Yes, I am, because I'm a veterinarian. That's what I do. I examine animals. I'm gonna take a look inside your mouth there, buddy. Oh, easy. You wanna maybe tell him?
Oh, yeah. Clifford. Good boy.
Good job there, buddy. All right, let me take a look there. Cool. Yeah. That's the large teeth on the big red dog.
Wow.
Come on.
What? Okay, first of all, how did it feel to work with a big red dog like that?
It was amazing. He was a very tame, calm, sweet little doggy. No, it was fun. I mean, the
you
cast
didn't really
was
work
great.
with
Was
the
it
big
like a
red
CGI?
dog,
Well, how'd they do it with the dog?
I mean, if I'm going to spoil it, yeah, they had like this giant like puppet head kind of thing that they were using, and like it gave me the kind of size of the mouth or whatever to kind of play it. So when I open it, it looks real.
Wow.
And I mean, it was more to work with than I was expecting. I was expecting just to like
talk to yourself.
Yeah, basically just be in outer space or whatever. But yeah, it was a full.
What about your kids? Are they going to be into this?
Yeah, we watched it already together, and that was like the first time they really sat still and watched the whole movie.
I can't wait. No, we can't handle them, Keenan.
And they're so much bigger than that now. That was
How
back
old
in the
are
day.
they now?
They're 7 and 3. That's Gianna and that's Georgia on the left.
Beautiful.
Sweetheart.
What is it like? You want to tear up just looking at him swing like that?
Yeah, man, it's the best. Life is great when you watch it through the eyes of a child.
Yeah.
It's a really sweet thing to witness, and I'm just happy to be back, in New York and off the road, kind of. Yeah. 'Cause we just finished season 2 of Keenan, so we got that in the bag, and I got to take my big girl to school this morning, so I'm just back in full dad mode.
Is she all right leaving you when you drop her off at school? She's okay?
Oh yeah, once her friends show up, I'm not even there anymore.
Are they funny? Are they funny? Do they have your sort? You weren't the class clown, which is how I'm
a little more laid back in real life, and I kind of just explode when it's performance time. But no, they are hams. They're going 24 hours a day.
Do they want to act, or how do you feel about that?
Well, I think so. I mean, I'm fine with it if they really believe in it and are passionate about it, and it's just for the arts and the creativity and all of that. But it's a scary thing to relinquish control of your child to Hollywood and stuff like that. It can be a scary kind of thought or whatever. So if they do want to do it, I want to be there and to just guide them through the muck a little bit, because it can get murky out there. There's some sharks in the water.
Keenan,
you're not one of the sharks.
Yeah, and you've been in this business so long, and you are so unchanged. Like, it's so cool. Every time you walk in here, you're just like it's the first time. So we love you, Keenan.
Thank you very much. I try to keep it real. Keep it real.
Yeah. Check out a special holiday episode of Keenan on December 15th right here on NBC. And you can watch Keenan host the People's Choice Awards. That's Tuesday, December 7th at 9 p.m. on NBC. And Clifford, the Big Red Dog, opens nationwide on Paramount Wednesday.
You're doing it.
You're very fancy.
All right, tune in tomorrow. We've got to look at why air purifiers have become so popular and what you need to know before you buy one.
We're going to see you tomorrow. Have a great day. What's up with that? Hoda, what's up with that?
from Studio 1A in Rockefeller Plaza.
Hey guys, welcome to Today.
Nice to have you with us.
You talk about some energy. This is a lively bunch.
Are you guys ready to turn this baby pink?
3, 2, 1, go! Tears, smiles, laughter, and hope. A big inspiring crowd helps us mark International Day of the Girl. What's your message to girls who want to make a difference in their own community?
Believe in yourself. Believe in your voice.
Do you think we're kind of on the tail end of this horrible virus?
We have definitely turned a corner.
I looked at her. We were just so deeply in love.
Have a little catch up with our pal, Dylan Breyer.
Oh, wow. Steve Kornacki here in the studio.
Hello.
Hi, hello there, everybody. How you doing today?
Gwyneth, that's me.
I had to do it because Hoda asked.
I'm so honored.
Hey, hey, hey. Hey, everybody, welcome to the Making of Today. Yes.
This is how it's done?
This is how it's done. It's the show that gives you an inside look at how today comes together.
I am so excited that you invited me here because we're going to take our viewers behind the scenes for an exclusive look at everything that goes into producing this show every single day. It's a lot.
Yes.
Now, as we all know, Halloween around here is huge. Big, big deal. This year was no exception. This time around, I'd say that our costumes were a touchdown.
I see what you did there.
Wait, okay, let me get my game face on. Take a look.
Go, Cowboys, go!
What's up? How was that?
What's up? What's up?
How can your mouth move like that?
Behind the scenes fun fact, we have to have stock footage of a pretend football game, and we're just mesmerized by the 3 plays that are running in an endless loop over and over.
Only problem is we blocked Chanel's face. Thank you. Is that good? Woo!
And down 1.
How many lunges do you have to do to look the way you look?
We feel great. Feeling really good. Feeling like a cheerleader.
Go Cowboys! Time to crank up the sound.
I just want to say one thing. There are not enough Spanx in the world for this.
Oh my God. Yes!
Oh, wow, this does look real.
Giselle, I'll see you later, honey.
Gronk says game time. Let's go. How fitting that Halloween is on the weekend this year.
Major bling.
This is looking pretty good.
So this is my first time even learning what I'm going to do. Run, 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 run away, baby.
Good morning, everybody. Welcome to Today. The fun is about to begin. Mom, we're ready.
I'm like stage mom over here for Savannah and Janelle over on the side. Hoda, I'm like, this is seriously the Today Show prom. Okay, I wear a size 9.5, 10. These are size 8.5, so I can't feel my feet. Ah.
There's a lot of dancing, strong spike. Feeling good.
It's just so early. So early.
Chanel gets the game ball, deservedly so, every Halloween.
We're basically just doing the warm-up for Chanel. Facts. That's what we do.
Facts. Excuse me.
Now we have to close the door.
This is how the magic happens. White boots, big hair, can't lose. My name is Brunel. Look at that.
Are you ready for the weekend? Yay, baby.
I would say we tackled that rather well, wouldn't you?
Well, I would indeed. Look, this fun is just getting started. And coming up next, we're going to show you how International Day of the Girl is truly a global production here at Today. So don't go away.
Today is now a podcast available every morning. Listen wherever you get your podcasts.
Good morning, everybody. Welcome to Today. Let's go.
We're going to kick off the Pink Power and Breast Cancer Awareness Month.
What's the best thing about being this age? You have nothing to prove because you already proved it.
What does it feel like to be in a city that you love so much?
I am humbly proud that I stuck up for my town.
We all have the honor of helping reopen the doors.
Broadway is back!
Make the most of your day with Today All Day. Get closer to all your friends in today in a whole new way.
Today in 30. We give you a mix of everything you love about our show in a mere 30 minutes.
Shop today with Jill Martin.
We're helping you shop like never before.
The latest styles and biggest names. Today food.
Things are heating up in the Today All Day kitchen.
Cooking essentials and recipe inspiration.
Get ready. Are you ready? Oh, I'm so ready.
Only on Today All Day.
To cover the news, you have to be in it. We'll take you to the front lines of the story, bringing your news feed to life. Streaming live every night. It's your news playlist.
Top Story with Tom Llamas. Weeknights at 7 on NBC News Now.
Today is now a podcast available every morning. Listen wherever you get your podcasts.
Welcome back to Making of Today. So each year, Today celebrates International Day of the Girl. And Savannah, I know this is one of your favorite days on the show.
It's a good one. It's a day focused on lifting female voices and bringing girls together from all over the world. And this year, we dedicated a special hour to the girls and women of Afghanistan. Our team worked tirelessly to make this day happen, reporting from Texas, Wisconsin, London, and back to our plaza in New York. And here's a look at how it all came together.
It's International Day of the Girl!
International Day of the Girl, dedicated to highlighting leading female voices from around the globe. Malala Yousafzai, sisters Jamila and Sharifa, and a young Afghan woman who concealed her identity to protect her family. Behind the scenes, our producers working hard to bring these important interviews to you.
So we're gonna get masked up and get to work and show you how we do it. Ready?
First up, Nobel Peace Prize winner Malala Yousafzai. I had the chance to sit down with this incredible woman. Our team checked in from our home base at 30 Rock.
I am working on the Malala interview with Savannah Guthrie. I'm producing the New York side of the interview, and right now we are getting set up in an office, so we're making the office a little studio.
With Malala and our UK staff setting up across the globe.
We've traveled from London to Birmingham, England. We're about to transform this boardroom behind me into our studio for the day.
Our Today team is eager to showcase these important stories, working to get the right shot.
We are trying to do something kind of unique where we're almost going to make them look like they're in the same space.
How did that strike you in those moments?
Savannah, I just could not process what was happening in Afghanistan.
Perfect audio.
To make sure he has the best possible sound, he's brought his own carpet with him.
And lighting.
So Sean likes some of these overhead lights, but not all of them for the interview. So what does he do? He puts this flag up to block them out.
And in Texas, Jenna sat down with a young Afghan woman who risked her life to come to America as the Taliban took over her city.
We are going to be shooting this in silhouette. We have to have the anchor and the interviewee pretty far away from each other. And we also have to keep it so that our guest is in the dark, but Jenna has light. So, Jorge, would you mind switching the monitor so people can see what it looks like on camera? This is Jenna's angle. And now you don't see our guest. Nifty stuff.
Are they scared for their safety?
Yeah, they are jobless. They don't have job now.
And nearby at the George W. Bush Presidential Library, 2 Afghan refugees who arrived in this country just 3 years ago sat down with Jenna and her mom, former First Lady Laura Bush, for a meal.
We have our lovely ladies, Jamila and Sharifa, setting up food that the Bushes are going to eat.
Setting up this morning, last minute camera checks.
Trying to figure out where everyone is going to sit.
Why should women here care about the women in your country?
Why not? And then it's lights, camera, action. This International Day of the Girl was certainly one to remember.
It's a little bit of luck, a little bit of magic, and a little bit of working with people who can help you along the way.
It was a really emotional day. We were so fortunate to talk to so many inspiring women. It's one of our most cherished celebrations, I would say, here at the show.
It absolutely is, and we love it. And you know who else is all about girl power? Our good buddy, Jill Martin.
Oh, yeah, she's best girlfriend.
That's right. For the last 12 years, Jill's provided our audience with amazing savings through steals and deals.
Yes, and today she's going to let us in on the magic of what it takes to get the deals you love on our show, how we turned our studios into a blast from the past for that hour-long special called Peacock Presents Steals and Deals Throwback Edition, which I just love.
Who knew?
I mean, what a great idea.
That's right. Let's throw back to this. This morning, we've got a special Steals and Deals.
Oh, we are back with a very special Steals and Deals. Yeah, back with another round of Steals and Deals this morning.
Wait. So before we get here, let's back it up a bit.
Hi, good morning.
Okay, a little further. Meet Dana, our senior lifestyle and commerce manager.
We normally book our Steals and Deals about 5 to 6 months in advance. We were looking for a product that, of course, made you feel nostalgic. I love the Kodak Polaroid camera. There was a speaker that we had that reminded me of a lava lamp, which was cool. And of course, the hair scrunchies and all those kinds of things.
Our team requests samples and researches the items. Once we pick something we think you'll love, Dana and I work to snag a great deal. That's 80% off. And throwing it back takes more than finding the right products. Our set designer, Ed, brought the decades to life.
We tried to create a really fun environment to represent all the different eras that are shown in the special. For the Today Show segment, we couldn't create the full set, so we created a nod to that as a tease coming up inside later.
I love the energy of being back in 30 Rock.
Every day I do this. I look down and I normally take a picture, and I think how grateful I am to be here.
I know just the thing to get me in the throwback spirit.
I was thinking this. Does this look retro?
I love that. Oh, you're so sad. That's right on theme.
And just like that, I'm ready to go.
We're heading over towards the studio now.
Once I make it onto the plaza, you never know who you're going to run into.
What was your favorite fashion trend? Because you were in the 70s. You were
a model.
A top model, yeah.
I liked skinny pants, pedal pushers, and then before that was Bermuda shorts. Remember them?
Yeah.
Not a trend. I better go and do my pies.
All right.
All of our Today Show family gets in on the fun.
Carson, does this take you back?
Oh my gosh, I feel like I'm 2 years old again with lava lamps.
To TRL.
Oh, I thought even to the 70s. Yeah, totally. Definitely.
You missed that show doing that?
No. This is like TRL for grown-ups. It feels a lot like it.
5,
The public waits.
3.
And as soon as they give the count, we're live.
Oh, good times. Good times.
Yeah,
good
right?
old days.
It does remind me of the good old days, but guess what?
What?
The best days are ahead. Because coming up next, we have an exclusive behind-the-scenes look at how our production team gets the Today Show on the air every morning. Let's just say, we think we wake up early, they wake up early. And then we get in on the Hoda and Jenna Tuesday fun.
Ooh.
I love picking their outfits. I vote every week. Do you?
That's what it's about. I wasn't sure if you just chose something else.
No, Tuesday. You'll find out.
It's
Stay
a
with
thing.
us. It's a thing.
Make the most of your day with Today All Day. Get closer to all your friends at Today in a whole new way.
Today in 30.
We give you a mix of everything you love about our show
in a mere 30 minutes.
Shop today with Jill Martin.
We're helping you shop like never before.
The latest styles and biggest names. Today food.
Things are heating up in the Today All Day kitchen.
Cooking essentials and recipe inspiration.
Is that ready? Are you ready?
Oh, I'm so ready.
Only on Today All Day.
Sometimes the news can be difficult and overwhelming for kids to understand.
Will coronavirus come back next year?
So to help make sense of it all, we've created a newscast just for them. Man, you know a lot. We hope your family will watch Nightly News Kids Edition. People really don't know what's going to happen. Nearly a dozen hours after the eye roared ashore. More good people than bad people, you know, right? 5 seconds. 4, 3. there to some late-breaking news. 4 hours into the Iowa caucuses. Private Hammer delivering.
All right, it just did too.
For breaking news in our changing world, download the NBC News app.
This isn't about spending going forward. This is about spending that's already happened. Do you accept the idea that we have a crisis at the border? The vaccine mandate. Is this going to work, or is this going to backfire? If it's Sunday, it's Meet the Press.
To cover the news, you have to be in it. We'll take you to the front lines of the story, bringing your news feed to life. Streaming live every night. It's your news playlist.
Top Story with Tom Llamas. Weeknights at 7 on NBC News Now.
Today is now a podcast, available every morning. Listen wherever you get your podcasts.
Welcome back. Well, over at Hoda and Jenna, Tuesday lets the viewers vote on what the ladies will wear the next day on the show. Now, you don't know this, but I got to be their stylist a few weeks ago. I selected their outfits. And this month, the men of today got involved. Actually, you were involved, even though you don't know what Tuesday is.
Yeah, well, that's the beauty of being me. After it's done, I completely forget. Yeah. I can't wait to see this.
Hi again, Donna here at Today over in Studio 1A, and I am going to show you how we make Tuesday happen each week. And this week, it's all about Carson, Al, and Craig, the men of Today, choosing Hoda and Jenna's outfits. Let's go.
This is the very first time that we are choosing outfits in this way.
Okay, I know, and we're a little nervous about it.
A little bit, yeah.
3 options to choose from for Hoda, and same for Jenna. Which will the viewers choose?
Were you excited when you found out that you were going to dress Hoda and Jenna, or hopefully dress?
I was excited about the prospect of dressing Hoda and Jenna, but I will tell you, I haven't felt as much pressure to get something right, probably since naming my daughter. I don't want to be responsible if they look all jacked up on TV. I don't want the blame.
Why did you choose those outfits for them?
Because I thought they might look jacked up on TV.
So tell me about your process with Tuesday.
It was a tough process. I went into it really wanting to put the ladies in something special. For you people out there, please vote for mine. I didn't win much as a kid. I was a terrible basketball player. I was always chosen last in baseball.
So you chose a denim jumpsuit for both Hoda and Jenna.
So what if they both get voted for? We wear the same
Yes.
thing. We wear the same
Yes.
thing. Okay, that's hilarious.
Yes. Deborah wears them, and I think they're kind of the moment. And what's great is they can also change oil after the show.
What are your thoughts on the picks so far?
Okay, so Al wants us to be twins, which
I think
might be his own
kind of
thing.
weird. Like, I feel like my mom's not gonna like that, right?
What she didn't she dress you and Barbara the same way?
That's true.
So what? I think it's a nice throwback. This is the Al.
You know what I'm worried about?
What?
This Joe.
Well, I feel like it needs
That's
a belt.
very wrong.
All right, we are outside of the stairwell where Alex has to put on all 6 Tuesday items on this one mannequin that we have. All right, that's it for today. Let's see what happens tomorrow.
Can we have a drum roll, please? So was it the Al, the Craig, or the Carson? Who has more sway with our viewers?
Let's see.
All right, here we go.
1, 2, 3.
I got the Carson, and you got the Craig.
Okay, so you are wearing the Carson, you are wearing the Craig. Do you like these picks?
I kind of like the Carson. It's cozy. Feel mine. It's really soft. Isn't that soft? And it's like jammies, and I'll wear it again if they'll let us keep it.
And spoiler alert, she did the very next day.
The Carson styled Hoda today?
Yeah.
Oh, yes. Carson, thank you. You picked this outfit for me. I appreciate it.
Cashmere, congratulations.
Thank you.
Thank you, sir. I appreciate it.
Yes, I won. Yes.
How do you feel, Al?
Well, I still no. Savannah voted for the owl look.
I did.
You know what Jenna called that, though? The diaper.
Yeah, she called it a jean diaper.
Well, Al, you lost this round to Craig and Carson.
I did.
But you should have a rematch, a fashion rematch.
I would if I cared. Anyway, in the meantime, you know who's working around the clock? Our morning production team.
Are they ever? We have a 24/7 operation here at Today to make sure we do not miss a beat, especially when we're covering breaking news. Our senior broadcast producer, Pete Breen.
Oh, the Breenalator.
Breen Industries. Well, he will show us how they get it done.
Good morning, everybody. It is
4 a.m.
When I get in at 4 a.m., we've got a full show.
So it's 4:30 a.m. It's 4:42 right now.
So we have some decisions to make. We added a spot about Bannon and the January 6th Commission.
But when news breaks overnight, we scramble to report on it.
I'm working with Garrett Hake to do a piece on Steve Bannon and contempt charges in Congress. I'm about to call our producer, Melanie Jackson.
And I just got off the phone with Grace. We're getting launched. So from here, we'll script, we'll go into edit, and we'll have to make air for probably the top of the show, 7 a.m.
It's 5:25 a.m. I just tracked my script in my closet using a bunch of suits for audio dampening, and now it's time to take a shower and get ready for the show.
We've got a whole team that works around the clock, some from the comfort of their living rooms.
Got some monitors, my iPad with the show,
and some from 30 Rock.
I'm headed up to the control room on the 7th floor. We are making some last-minute changes to the rundown, adding some things, moving some stuff around.
By 6 a.m., it's crunch time. We're finalizing our video and scripts for the show.
Guys, good news. Most of our tapes are over, so I'm going to give Pete Breen in the control room an update.
And now it's around 6 o'clock, so we have our stories for Pop Start today. Now it's time to start writing, picking sound bites, and talk to Carson.
6:15 right now. Grace just emailed Miguel about a revision in his script. So I'm just gonna prepare my editor so we can quickly turn this around.
By 6:30, the audience is making their way onto the plaza, and Savannah and Hoda are at the desk.
I have some scripts for the talent, and I'm gonna run them upstairs.
And just like that, we're on the air at 7 a.m.
Hi, everybody. Welcome to today. And then they take a brief nap, drool a little bit, and get ready to do it all over again.
That's right. They generally nap during weather. But
we love them.
I don't take it personally.
No.
That's right. Another person who needs a nap, especially during election season, NBC News national political correspondent Steve Kornacki.
If you are a fan of the third hour of Today, and who isn't, you've seen Steve break down the stats on everything. He's gone behind the NFL, and now he's going to show us how it all comes together on the big board in Studio 1A. Take a look.
Hi everybody, deep inside 30 Rock here on a Friday morning. It's a big Friday morning for me because they've asked me to be on the third hour of the Today Show. This is The Office, mine at least, and here we go. I don't know if you ever watched the Tonight Show. Jimmy Fallon came here a few months ago and cleaned it up. I really, honestly, I don't even know. I have no idea. I don't know. I probably didn't do a very good job keeping it clean. It's been worse than this, though. We got an NFL hit. We're looking at NFL playing in London this weekend. We're looking at Super Bowl odds. There was a game last night that probably affected the odds, so a lot to check in on.
So once Steve knows what he wants to talk about, it's my job to make his vision come to life and make those graphics that you see on his big board when he's on our show. So I go back and forth with the artist. Once we have the design where we want it, we'll push them over to Steve and his team to load them up on the board for air.
I actually need to go check in with my producer. His name is Adam. He's making sure right now that everything's ready to go to the boards. Say hello to the camera.
Hello. I loaded the graphics into our little screen. We updated the standings based on the Rams-Seahawks game last night.
The Rams beat the Seahawks. We're gonna go see if the Rams win last night, change the odds. These are the Super Bowl futures odds, so let's see where our good old Rams are. There's the Rams, right? It's a plus 950. That means the odds are 9.5 to 1. So we had them at 10 to 1 on the screen. It's now 9.5 to 1. It's almost the same. At some point in the next hour, I have to get changed too. That's usually a difficult thing for me. So this is not the tie I wanted to wear today. I wanted to wear this one, but it's not really tied, and I don't know how to tie it. And unless Adam, you want to, he's shaking his head. He doesn't want to. So I'm stuck with this one. This is the big time now, and these are the graphics we were showing you in the computer. As you can see, they loaded into the board, and let's see if I tap the screen, do we start getting the other, there we go. That's everything we need. All right, it looks like this segment's gonna work.
We are so excited. NBC News national political correspondent Steve Kornacki here in the studio.
We survived. I hope we survived. Did we pass the test?
Fantastic. It was fantastic.
That is the seal of approval we were looking for, so we'll do it again next time.
Oh, you gotta love Steve Khaki Kornacki. He's the man.
He
All right.
is.
Well, coming up, we're gonna answer some of your questions. Nothing is off limits. Yikes.
Today is now a podcast, available every morning. Listen wherever you get your podcasts.
Good morning, everybody. Welcome to Today.
Let's go.
We're going to kick off the Pink Power and Breast Cancer Awareness Month.
What's the best thing about being this age?
You have nothing to prove because you already proved it.
What does it feel like to be in a city that you love so much?
I am humbly proud that I stuck up for my town.
We all have the honor of helping reopen the doors.
Is back!
Nearly a dozen hours after the Eye roared ashore. There is some late-breaking news.
All right,
Grab your apron for a new podcast, Cooking Up a Storm with Al Roker.
My forecast, yummy.
Some of the best chefs spill the beans on family secrets to get you ready for Thanksgiving.
This is fun. Bringing the heat for the holidays.
Follow now wherever you get your podcasts.
To cover the news, you have to be in it. We'll take you to the front lines of the story, bringing your news feed to life. Streaming live every night. It's your news playlist.
Top Story with Tom Llamas, weeknights at 7 on NBC News Now.
The Meet the Press Chuck Toddcast, free wherever you get your podcasts.
Today is now a podcast, available every morning. Listen wherever you get your podcasts.
Welcome back. So we've given you a glimpse behind the scenes here in Studio 1A, but now a closer look at us.
Don't zoom in too close. We're going to answer questions. Your questions. Fans out on the plaza asked us about our experiences anchoring today. So let's get it started.
Which of the anchors has the best sense of humor?
No. You know what? I would argue, counselor, that it would in fact be one Savannah Guthrie.
No, stop. You're just saying that because I'm sitting right here.
Like, we know Hoda's a cut up.
Yes.
You know, Carson's kind of crazy. Craig's a curmudgeon. But you have a very wicked sense and under the radar, no weather pun intended, sense of humor that kind of pops out odd times.
Well, I was about to say, the things I say really can't make it onto television,
No, they
can
can't.
they? No.
But that does not change the fact that you are pretty funny.
Well, you're going to have to just take his word for it.
What goes on inside the studio during commercial breaks?
We're back after local news. You would not believe how much happens during the commercial break. First of all, we FaceTime our families quite a bit.
Yes, we do. Our crew, busts their butts, do amazing changes within 3 minutes.
People probably think we have this huge studio. We don't. It's basically one big room, and during a commercial, it's like, get the albino elephant out, bring the concert in.
There it is.
Of all the things you've done in your career, what's the biggest dream come true moment?
There have been a million of them, but I did meet Duran Duran, and Simon Le Bon hugged me.
Paper guy.
And as a girl that grew up in, the 80s, that was a very pinch yourself kind of moment. And also for Halloween one year, I got to be Olivia Newton-John. Oh. And Carson was Danny Zuko from Grease.
That's right.
And we got to do the whole dance routine, and that was pretty fun. What about you?
They've all been, just the fact that I'm on the Today Show.
My people!
It's not even a dream come true because I never even thought about being on the Today Show. I was so happy when I got the job at WNBC.
Forget about those suntans.
I thought my parents can actually turn on the TV and see me.
It's pretty cool.
That was done.
This place actually exceeds all of our wildest dreams.
It does. I hope you had a good time.
We had fun.
Yes, we did. We always have fun. We thank you for watching Making of Today. That's about all the time we have. But if you want more behind-the-scenes access to Today, what's wrong with you? No, only kidding. Sign up for Today Insider. You'll get a weekly email including early access to Steals and Deals.
That's good.
That's right. Oh, that's worth it right there. Giveaways and more. All you have to do is go to today.com/insider.
And get ready because November is going to be a busy month in Studio 1A. So join us next time. Bye-bye.
We have some big news this morning. Y'all are looking good.
Go!